I got the cash in the bag, stadium packed. Born a rock star in this life, gon' live it up on the attack. Baby, I'm bad, I just wanna get caught up in this life. I'm crazy, I'm mad, doing no cap. Only God wants, so you better go live it up. Cash in the bag, stadium packed. Baby, I'm bad, baby, I'm bad.
I just wanna stay bad, stay mad. Chip on my shoulder cause they treat me like an outcast. I ain't gonna take that, stay back. I'll be swinging hard till the hits come in all caps. I ain't gonna lay back, pray that someone's gonna help me. Ain't nobody like that. I ain't gonna wait, that's all fact. Give me one shot and I'll never get the throne back. I'm sick of being cautious, I'ma go cause something, can't stop this. I'ma steal everybody's lane, call it shoplift. Sick of hearing everyone complain when they thoughtless. Taste the pain, it's like candy canes. It makes me go change into a better frame, into a better name. Society's insane, we all live for fame, yeah. Cash in the bag, stadium packed. Born a rock star in this life, gon' live it up on the attack. Baby, I'm bad, I just wanna get caught up in this life. I'm crazy, I'm mad, do it no cap. Only God wants, you better go live it up. Cash in the bag, stadium packed. Baby, I'm bad, baby, I'm bad. I got cash in the bag, stadium packed. Born a rock star in this life, gon' live it up. I'm crazy, I'm mad, do it no cap. Only God wants, so you better go live it up. Cash in the bag, stadium packed. Baby, I'm bad, baby, I'm bad. I got cash in the bag, stadium packed. Born a rock star in this life, I'll live it up on the attack. Baby, I'm bad, I just wanna get caught up in this life. I'm crazy, I'm mad, do it no cap. Only God wants, so you better go live it up. Cash in the bag, stadium packed. Baby, I'm bad, baby, I'm bad. I got cash in the bag, stadium packed. Born a rock star in this life. I don't really know what comes next. I'm just doing my best, even though I'm so stressed out. Everything just feels like a test that I fail, so depressed when I can't seem to get out. But something deep inside won't let me quit. I swear that I'm inspired by all this shit. Tell me that I can and I won't. That's what guides me the most. Fuck your lies, I'll do what I want. The gas in the back, never left. She's so bad that the chair made the bag. The gas in the back, never left. She's so bad that the chair made the bag. The gas in the back, never left. She's so bad that the chair made the bag. The gas in the back, never left. She's so bad that the chair made the bag. I'm inspired by thirst, I'm inspired by worth. I desire your worst, so you can just hide while I work. I ain't tired, you first. I'll write a second, third verse about the lies you go disperse. You never did shit, I know it hurts. Something deep inside won't let me quit. I swear that I'm inspired by all this shit. Tell me that I can and I won't. That's what guides me the most. Fuck your lies, I'll do what I want. The gas in the back, never left. She's so bad that the chair made the bag. The gas in the back, never left. She's so bad that the chair made the bag.
Whole sports all plays. Whole sports all plays. Hard sports all plays. 365, we making up plays. You talking the game, get you to the days. We're high in the court, the dime in the lane. Variety topics, living the same. All presentation, sports information. In the airways, taking the nation. All sport, all plays, they working your faces. Grace at the field, so tie the laces. Hard sports all plays.
Welcome to College Breakdown. I am Ray Cruz, and my host, Dre Montez, will be on here momentarily. We're going to get the college football season breaking down here. This is Conference Championship Week here. We got 9 games of football. 8 of them are Conference Championship. We have 1 game that is a overall type game. On the independent conference, Valparaiso versus New Mexico State. They're independent, FBS independent. So they have 1 game of picking the broadcast here today on the network. Also, we're going to be breaking down the ACC. We're going to break down the Big 12. We're going to break down we're going to talk about the Pac-12. We're going to talk about the Big 10. We're going to talk about the Pac-12 Utah versus USC game. We're going to talk about how that game really put some bite into the college playoffs. So we're going to break that down to you on this game. We're going to also talk about the coaching carousel. We're going to talk about the big announcement that's going to be coming up this week on Sunday. Deion Sanders says he will announce on Sunday what school he is going to. It's up to Colorado, Cincinnati, and University of South Florida is the 3 schools that have been listed on his resume. So we're going to be breaking that down here momentarily when Drake comes on the show here. Let's get some stuff out of the thing here. If you like the content on the All Sports All Plays Network, if you want to send us some stars, that will make us have money to make more content and add more shows to the network. If you want to support the network, send us some stars through Facebook. So we're going to talk, so if you want to do that, you want to support the All Sports All Plays Network, where you can support all the shows, or you can put it towards individual shows that you like on the show. But it's all going to the All Sports All Plays Network. We definitely have to have some support to carry on some of this great content that we got it on. So that's the talk about that. John Moreau says, good morning, guys. Good morning to you, man. And he also said that USC got destroyed. Yes, we're going to be talking about that and coming up here momentarily on the show. So we're going to get some started here. Right now we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We have 7 college vacancies right now. 7 college vacancies open things. So let me go ahead and bring my co-host on. We know the man as the Who's to Blame podcast. The man with the great hair. The man with the great physique. Former military. The man who lives in St. Louis, Missouri. By himself. But he's always partying with everybody else. The man, the myth. The only person here on the show that we can add onto this thing, Mr. Dre Montez. How you doing, man?
What's up, my man? How you doing?
I'm doing good, man. What's up with you?
Awesome, man. You have a good turkey day?
An unusual turkey day.
It's good. It's good. We all did. We survived. We survived.
Yes. No Shave November is over. I'm going back to my original do. Yes.
Whoa. So no shave November is over with, and no nut November is over with, right?
Yeah.
Okay, good. That's the dumbest shit ever.
So
no nut November. Hell no. Fuck that.
I went fully grown out. I went on ahead and shaved myself down on December 1st. So
pubes too?
Huh?
You shave your pubes too?
I'll do that too sometimes. I'm not ashamed. Gotta keep myself clean. I'm a clean cut kind of guy.
Come in for a landing, honey. Come in for a clear landing.
Hey, you gotta let the airplane land sometimes, You don't want no crash landing.
Listen, I don't like hair below the navel, so I feel you.
All righty. Our college rankings took a hit last night. We're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about that in a few minutes, but we want to go ahead and get some of these coaching news out of the way. We have total about 9 coaching vacancies. We have Liberty, UNLV, Western Michigan, Cincinnati, Tulsa, Stanford, South Florida, and Colorado are the only vacancy we have open.
Didn't Florida Atlantic get picked up by
Tom Herman? Yeah.
Yeah. Isn't that Tom Brady's stepbrother or brother-in-law?
Not sure. We'll have to fact check that. I'm not sure. But he's the ex-Texas head coach. He replaces Willie Taggart at FMU, Florida Atlantic University. Tom Herman has been hired. So what do you think about that hire for Florida Atlantic? Did he get this hire right? Did he move back from going from a Power 5 back to a smaller type college for him to get back into the acclimation of getting back to the way he was before he went to Texas?
I look at this as like rebuilding your credit. You know, you got to start out in small increments and reestablishing your credit. And I think that's what he's doing. He's trying to reestablish his credibility. You got to start out where it matters the most, community. And that is at a small school. That's where the community really gets him on board with the coaching staff. It's more of a personal thing. So I think this is one of those interpersonal goals that maybe his agent or maybe his even wife told him to do. Honey, do this. This is how you get back with the people in the community. It's like when you get cheated on and you want to get back out there dating. You go back to your neighborhood girlfriend or boyfriend. You start small. You start over. You got to get that slow clap going in the movies. There. Oh, okay. Okay. All right, coach. Here we go. That's all he's doing. I like it. Good move.
Yeah. And then UAB, University of Alabama, Birmingham, picked up Trent Dilfer, replaces Bill Clark there. What do you think on Trent Dilfer? He's only coaching experience. He is a high school coach, a former high school coach, and a former NFL quarterback. So
the high school that he coached at, wasn't that a private school? I don't think it was a public school.
Let me see here.
So if it was a private school, that means the parents wanted him. So I can't give that. He doesn't talk well with young people. We saw that video, that disturbing video about 15 years ago for Trent Dilfer. So I don't know about this because he does not know how to. Trent Dilfer has bad behavior with talking with people younger than him. That's all I'm going to say. So I don't know about this. If that was a private school he was at, this is disastrous. He'll be done in 3 years.
He was at Lipscomb Academy since 2019, and previous was at ESPN and NFL Analysis.
No, he'll be fired in 3 years. He doesn't know how to communicate with people on the totem pole.
I'm just glad
less than him.
I'm just glad he's got a head coaching job off the air from ESPN and all that. He's the one that always bashed Jacksonville. So
all the time. All the time.
But you think he's gonna be gone in 3 years?
Yeah.
I can see that. Some analysts gave him a C- on that.
He has no people skills, man. That's the thing in coaching. You need to know how to talk to everybody, and he does not know how to do that.
He could have been a better student at NFL because he's got to go out and recruit now, and that's gonna. If you talk about people skills and him recruiting, that's gonna be a disaster.
Oh God, he does not know how to talk to people at all. His interpersonal skills are horrible. Trent Dilfer is a good dude as an analyst, an antagonist, and that's it. Yeah. Coaching and recruiting, no. He's not bringing in money. Nobody in the whole country is going to say, hey, I want my kid to go play for Trent Dilfer. Nobody's going to say that. So what is he bringing to the table? What is he bringing to this institution? What is he bringing to the program? What is the mitigating factor on why he's getting the job over Tom and Bob and Chris's dad? Why they didn't get the job? So there has to be more to the story.
Either that or they're just trying to get him because he's a Super Bowl quarterback from the NFL, name recognition. He thinks he can bring in big recruits from his name recognition alone.
Trent Dilfer name comes up once a year in football for one factor only. When a quarterback is winning with an NFL team does not have the QBR that we want, doesn't have the look, the lust of the name, the style, the wife, the girlfriend, the side piece. He's just a dude saying, 180, 180, hit. And we say, all you have to do is do a Trent Dilfer. Manage the game, let the defense dictate the game, and win the championship. That's the only reason Trent Dilfer comes up every year. Nobody ever says, hey, let me tell you about a great quarterback in the NFL named Trent Dilfer. Bullshit.
Yeah.
No.
So did Georgia Tech get their hire right? They're the only ones that hired their interim coach this season. They took the interim off and made him head coach. Brett Keys, who finished up the season on a big note, besides losing to Georgia. But, I mean, he did beat North Carolina ranked team, and then he had pulled some key wins on the back straightaway. So, I mean, he led the Yellow Jackets 4-4 record since Collins' dismissal. So, you think Georgia Tech got their coaching decision right?
I mean, they're playing with house money, so it's the right thing to do, but you don't know what you want to do. When you have no idea what you want to do, spend house money. And that's what Georgia Tech is at right now. Georgia Tech, I think, it's not on football. Georgia Tech right now is an institution. Their thoughts and concerns and money is not on football. So that's why they're playing with in-house money. Let's just keep him. They have no idea who on their team. Nobody. They're more concerned on the technology side of Georgia Tech than the gridiron at Georgia Tech. Yeah. So I think they made the right decision.
I think so too. I think he's got his name out there now with Institute with Georgia Tech. Got Georgia Tech on winning ways. Went 4-4 on the back straight away after Collins got dismissed. They did have Sims, who is transferring out, hit the transfer portal. Even his names came out, so they're going to probably stick with Griggs and as the quarterback for the time being. I mean, he did pretty good. So let's move on to Auburn. Did Auburn get the hiring right by rehiring Hugh Freeze, who used to be the Ole Miss coach and former Liberty coach? Did he make the correct decision?
I think that's all about familiarity. He's a household name. Older people are more comfortable talking with him. He has that in-your-face living room, front porch conversation. So that's all about recruiting. That's one of those hires. What can make our institution, our program better? Buy this guy overnight, or we want consistency. I think they're looking for consistency with this hire. Because he has that, let me sit in your living room. I can talk to any member of your family. Let me sit on the front porch. I got it. And then he sweats like Bill Self. I like it.
Yeah. Freeze was 39-25 from 2012 to 2016 at Ole Miss, and his record at Liberty is 31-15 from 2019 to 2022. So, okay. I mean, he's got a winning record coming into SEC play. He's got a winning record at Liberty. He took a smaller school in Liberty, made him a little bit of a house-known name. So that preposition of that, I think that was a little bit of a good thing. But he does have baggage because he had five years as a head coach, including vacated wins out of Ole Miss. So do you think that he has learned from his mistakes and to move forward on and try to get his name rebuilt in the SEC?
I don't think he's learned from his mistakes. I think he's learned how to – I think his advisors have probably given him more information on NIL and the proper usage of the transfer portal. That's I don't think his ways are going to change at all, but I think new information and the way to use that new information as a tool to help you with your progressions and getting over the hump, that's a good thing. Because look at the transfer portal right now. Next year in college football, shit, it's going to get wild. The arrest that happened last week and the transfer portal and the coaching changes and these new NIL deals, you thought this year in college football was crazy? Watch what happened next year.
All right, Luke Fickell, he's going from Cincinnati to Wisconsin. Is this the stepping stone for him to get back to Ohio State if Day doesn't turn Ohio State around? Losing to Michigan twice this year, the last 2 years for Ohio State, and the first time in the Big House, and the first time in the Horseshoe that Michigan went in there and won. So is Luke Fickell using this as a stepping stone to get to Ohio State if Day is fired?
I don't think Dave's getting fired. That's just outrageous. If he'd have been fired, it'd have been for that decision that was made. I don't want to get into that was done last year. That was the only reason that Dave should have been fired. But now, no. It's just when you lose to a rival and you that deal, that comes up every year. Talk to Harbaugh. But going from Cincinnati to Wisconsin, that's a different deal, man. Cincinnati is not football. Cincinnati is basketball, volleyball, golf, wrestling. It is not football. Now he going to a football school. They want answers. They want information. They want progression. They want results. They want input. They're looking at you as the savior. Talked about Barry Alvarez. I mean, you got to reach out to people like that know about that Wisconsin football. This is a hell of an upgrade. It's a hell of an upgrade. If it doesn't work in 2 years, he will be gone.
And then if you look at it too, Luke Fickell went 57-18 at Cincinnati.
That's Cincinnati.
Yeah.
Wisconsin, that's different. This is different. That's look, it's like going to a cookout in the Midwest and going to a cookout in the South is totally different.
Yeah, Luke Fickell does have things in there. He was the defensive coordinator under Urban Myers at Ohio State before he took the Cincinnati job. I think he went to Ohio State as a football player. So he knows the Big Ten style. But now the concept is he's taking that Cincinnati style offense, which is wide open, going to a team that is set up predicated to the run more. Because that's what Wisconsin's offense was all about, was just run. Now, does he take that step, make it go from a running game back to a wide open game, to institute the running game to make it a little bit better to go along with his spread offense type deal? Because that's what he ran in Cincinnati.
See, that's the thing right there. When you go into a new institution that already has their standards in place, certain schools, institutions already have something in mind. Like we know Penn State is linebacker you. We know Georgia is running back you. And you get this job, and now you try to change the formula on how the program should be looked at and what we're trying to do. It doesn't happen that easy. So it's going to take some time for him to get in whatever his projectile views on running an institution, his program style, whether it's offensively or defensively or special teams or emphasizing on one particular position of a player. We don't know. That will take time, but with that comes with winning. So he comes in winning right away, he can put in what he wants to do. But it doesn't win right away, that's when they've done.
Yeah, that too. And then but let's move on to out of the Big Ten. Let's go to the Pac-12. And Ken Dillingham, the offensive coordinator at Oregon, is now the head coach at Arizona State. We know what kind of style offense that he runs. He's got to bring that style to Arizona State. And his first coaching job at age 32 years old.
It's the best time to get divorced and to start sleep with a younger woman and get a new coaching job. So I agree with all that. And the fact, I think he said he wanted this job.
Yeah.
This was like a dream job for him. So I like that. The fact how excited he was and people around him that knew about this story from like 5 or 6 years ago. This is like a getting to the point to get the job you want. So I think all this is going to make sense to a lot of people next college football season because he's bringing more to the table than just the dream, but there's a reason behind it.
Yeah. So, I mean, age 32 years old gets him into the door as a head coach, and he can be there forever if he wants to stay there. move his name up into the thing. I mean, he's a very good offensive coordinator at age 32. I mean, he had that Oregon offense going at high speed in certain games. I mean, yeah, certain games the defense let down on them, but I mean, the offense, they made Bo Nix look pretty good too. So, I mean, so that's just my take on him. And then Matt Rule is at Nebraska. They finally got him signed. We know that he's a good starting building block for a college program. If you want to build a college program up, I think he's better suited in college than he was in pros. So does Nebraska get back into their winning ways with Matt Rule starting out?
No. There is nothing attractive about Matt Rule. His resume, his upbringing, none of it. Even the way he talks. Why am I going to this school? Why do I want to play football for you? And the fact he got the Nebraska, did you see that contract?
Yeah.
So that's what I'm saying. This is what we're going to do in our offseason. We're going to put a resume together. We're going to submit our bid as a coaching duo for any coaching vacancy that opens next year in D2 or D3. We're going to start there. Because when I saw that money, knowing his resume, what he has done, doesn't make sense to me at all. So they're just giving money away, right?
Yeah.
So if they want to give money away, let them give money to us. We'll donate 85% of our proceeds, our salaries, to a charity of our choices. But we're getting a college football job next year. I've seen 5 dumbass hires in the past week and a half. What? No. I don't like this at all. What has Matt Rule done?
The only thing he's done is took Temple to a respectable when he was there at Temple. Then he moved to Baylor Bears. He went 19 for 20 in 3 seasons. But his third year there, he won 10 games, and they won the Sugar Bowl at Baylor. That's about the only thing that he has done.
Yeah. Sugar Bowl. Jeez.
That's about the only thing he has done. But he is known for program builders, so which is exactly what Nebraska needs.
That man does not look like he can recruit anybody unless he has hard evidence on you. So that's blackmail. So I want to see what he can bring to the table. That's 2 years now because he's not getting the class this year.
No.
That's somebody else's. So now we got to wait till next year. We got to wait to 25 to see what he's bringing in. No.
Does he pull somebody out of this transfer portal?
No. Who? What college football student saw that story broken or parent and said, baby, get our boy out that school. Let him go play for Matt. Mom, Dad, I want to go play for Matt. What? Why? What is I don't know what. Am I missing something here?
I don't know. But I mean, some people gave Nebraska a grade 8 on him.
This is a lazy hire. It's like when your girl cheats on you with your best friend. That's the best you could do. That's lazy. She couldn't meet nobody else. That's lazy.
But I mean,
it's a lazy hire.
But if you look at it too, he's still getting paid by the Carolina Panthers big amount of money. So I mean, ain't like he's going to go here and just My thing is, if he's already getting big paid for the Carolina Panthers, is he going to put his full effort in at Nebraska?
No. He's not a household name when it comes to recruiting. That man has nothing to bring to the table if he comes to my house. Sell me the Nebraska program. Sell me your coaching philosophy. Sell me your future ideal on my child playing for you. I don't see that. No. Hell no. I homeschool my fucking kid in college before I let him go play for him. Can you homeschool a college athlete? I mean, that's what I would do. Matt Rule, have you seen him? He's an extra in a damn Adam Sandler movie from the mid-'90s. No.
And Damon said, how in the hell did Urban Meyer get another damn job? He didn't get another job. His name was
pitching him.
His name was fishing around this Nebraska job, but they went out and got Matt Rule. The Charlotte 49ers went out and got Beef Pug, the Michigan Associated Head Coach. He went out and got off the Harbaugh's, poached some of his coaching staff. So now Beef Pug is now the head coach at the Charlotte 49ers. What is your take on him? He's 62 years old, I think.
Jesus. Can you give me a good coaching story, please? That sounds horrible. Who wants to be a college football coach at 62 years old?
Yeah, Pogan
In Charlotte?
Yeah, Pogan 62 has a storied career as a high school coach to his name and helped reorganize Michigan behind the scenes over the past 2 years. So really, he wasn't on the coaching staff. He was just having behind the scenes, but he was associated head coach.
His wife did this shit. His wife did that. His wife put his name in the hat. He didn't even know he got the job to this morning. I don't believe in this, and I love Charlotte. I love the Green Wave. I love those people down there, but it's a horrible hire. You give that job to a in-town coach in the high school rankings. You give that job to them. A 62-year-old man? No. It's like 5 jobs that are just horrible for college football that happened this past week. Horrible. There's nothing a 62-year-old person can do for me in college. Nothing. 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 No. Nope. He's not relatable. He doesn't get the trends. Where's the terminology? How can he go in a house and recruit somebody? I got to hear this. Grandpa Pitts has been closed a long time.
Hey, hold on. Here we go. He'll go in there and pitch the house, but then he'll go and bring his VCR tape, and nobody's got a VCR no more.
That's a lazy hire. If you cheat with your man's friends or your girl's friends, that's lazy. Get creative. 62 years old and being a coach? Man, get the fuck out of here. That's a heart attack. That's a heart attack waiting to happen. No, I don't like it at all. Horrible.
That's what I don't know, but I mean, and let's before we go to break here, let's talk about David Shaw resigning at Stanford. Was it time for him to resign?
Didn't we talk about this like several times over this college football season?
Yeah.
On what's going up with the Stanford program. We both said he got information on somebody. I just think he's going to the NFL. He's going to the NFL. Some kind of way. What more could he have done at Stanford? Look at what he did at Stanford.
Yeah.
It's the players, the recruitment, the exit strategy. All of that is a plus. And why any of those coaching vacancies didn't reach out to him? Interesting.
Yeah.
And how old is he?
I don't know, but he showed it. He's 96 and 54 in 12 seasons at Stanford. He transformed Stanford into a Pac-12 champion contender. However, resigned over to 6 and 16. Mm-hmm. And let me find out how old is Brian Shaw.
Because I'm 52. If B older than me, I'm impressed because he looks good for a light-skinned fella. Black don't cry. $51. 56.
He's my age.
Damn, youngin.
Yeah, he's 50 years old. He was born. I'm older than him. I'm older than him by a month.
50 and 62 is a big ordeal in coaching college football.
Yeah.
Nobody wants to work or listen to a 62-year-old person with nothing on the resume. But a 50-year-old, they won't listen.
Yeah, he's been in coaching since 1995. He was at Western Washington. He was a outside linebackers coach, then went to Western Washington, then moved up as a tight end coach there. He did do it. He was a position coach for the Philadelphia Eagles in 1997.
Yep.
Also a position coach for the Oakland Raiders, and he became the quarterback coach at Oakland Raiders in 2001. He did do Baltimore Ravens quarterback / wide receiver in 2000, from 2002 to 2004. He was a Baltimore wide receivers coach by himself in 2005. Went to San Diego for wide receivers coach in 2006. Got the Stanford job in 2007 as the offensive coordinator, wide receiver coach. Then moved up in 2010 as the offensive coordinator, and running back coach. And then he was a head coach from 2011 to 2022. So he has a lot of NFL credentials on his resume. So you could be right. I mean, he does the NFL draft. He could go as a full-time analyst for the NFL.
No. He has too much knowledge to just waste that shit away by being an analyst. Don't do that. I can feel the NFL calling this person because he has. Look at the players he's had. Look at what that institution did for technology as far as the advancement of the quarterback position in the NFL with the technology that school, and he's a part of that program.
Yeah.
I think he's going to the NFL.
Which NFL job, though?
Denver, come on. We gotta fire Nathaniel. I don't trust white people named Nathan at all. Because I just want to call him Nathaniel.
All righty, man. Before we talk about the next topic coming up here, we're going to be talking about Deion Sanders and his next job. His announcement is coming up on Sunday, which job he's going to take. And he's been reported to Colorado, Cincinnati, and USF. So we're going to talk about that situation when we come back we take a break here on the All Sports All Place Network. I am Ray. I am Dre. This is the All Sports. Yeah, you see, you thought I said somebody else's name, didn't you? Yeah.
I thought you said I am Ray and I am Dre. I was like, well, he could be Dre.
I can be everybody. I'm all in one. I'm all in one exclusive. I can play you.
A lot of people say that. They're not ready for that.
Oh, I'm ready. I can play you.
It's more than the fro, Ray. It's more than the fro. We got to talk about that UFC game too, man. We come back after this break.
Yeah, we're gonna talk about Deion Sanders. We're gonna talk about the USC and the debacle that's gonna be coming up on this college playoff rankings coming up on Tuesday. Is Alabama back in? We're gonna talk about that too. So we'll be back on the All Sports All Place College Breakdown Show. I am Ray. That is Dre, and we'll be right back.
Balls deep.
All Sports All Plays. All Sports All Plays. All Sports All Plays. 365, we making a plays. We talking the game, get you through the days. We're high in the court, the dime in the lane. Variety topics, living the same. All presentation, sports information. In the airways, taking the nation. All sport, all plays, they working your faces. Grace at the field, so tie the laces. All Sports All Plays. All Sports All Plays. We on top of our game. All Sports All Plays. All Sports All Plays.
What did you say?
I said Kobe Bean Bryant has been overrated ever since he passed away.
Now, I'd say they could lose about 4, but I don't see them losing 5. You know what I mean?
All Sports All Plays. All Sports All Plays. All Sports All Plays.
This is the Fox D Streaming Network. Register to come on our channel at foxdnetwork.com.
Welcome back to the All Sports, All Plays College Breakdown Show. I am Ray, that is Dre, and we're coming back here. We're going to be bringing up the next big hot topic that's coming up. Deion Sanders where will he coach at? Will he stay at Jacksonville State? Will he go to Colorado? Will he go to Cincinnati? Will he go to University of South Florida? The problem is he will be announced where he is going to coach tomorrow. That's what they say. Tomorrow he will be making a big announcement. Where do you think Deion will be at in the 2023-2024 season, the college football season next year?
I'm a big fan of Deion, man. Big fan of him. You know, I had a pleasure meeting him when I was stationed in Hawaii when he came out for the Pro Bowl. That was pretty cool. And what he has done off the field before he even got into college, the numerology, the day he got the hire, had all make sense. What he has done since he's been there, how the HBCU program has been rebranded and regifted throughout all HBCU sports. Like he said, when we talked about this earlier this year, it has to make sense for Deion. It's not just about him. When you get a coaching job in college sports, it has to be a deal that's for you to make sense. So it's not just an individual hire. This is about a team project. He has a whole plan. And the USF thing, he wants to be included with the new stadium being constructed. So that one there is interesting. And then Colorado, they're giving him all the keys to every house in the state of Colorado. So that could be, those two things right there are really interesting to me. But I think the bigger story is Deion wants to make sure he's getting the coaches in place. It's not just about him. It has to be everybody has to be in place for this to work. The Colorado deal, I think that's going to top the USF deal. Because I thought he was going to go to USF. But now I'm thinking this Colorado deal could be more an advantageous deal for the incoming people, the NIL, the transfer portal. This is a huge week in college football. After Thanksgiving, shit got wild behind the scenes in college football. Shit got wild. So whatever decision Deion makes tomorrow, Tuesday and Wednesday, watch what happened in college football.
Now,
I think Colorado got it.
My question to you, since you are a Florida Gator fan and Florida State, Miami all compete for these recruits, UCF, if Deion Sanders does take the UFF job, the University of South Florida job, the Bulls job in Tampa, does that make the landmark of interesting recruiting for the bigger schools like Florida State, Miami, and UCF? Does that affect it? Because a lot of players probably want to go play for Deion. I mean, Deion's got a head on his shoulders. I like the way he's done this program. He does it right. I mean, he preaches to them. He makes them dress up in suits, come to the games. He pulls his pants, tell them to pull the pants up. They don't have no people doing the baggy looks and stuff like that. They're very professional. He's teaching them professional. Does that change landscapes in the state of Florida recruiting? In-state Florida recruiting, if he does come to the state?
I mean, at 52 years old, I've never sagged in my life. I've always worn pants with a belt. I believe in the gig line, so I don't get any of that shit there. But what I like about Deion and the fact that it's Florida and what it means in high school and trying to take your talents to the next level in collegiate football, whether it be D1, D2, D3, whatever it may be, Florida's a good town, as well as Georgia. And those two states are not that far apart. Everybody in that southern hemisphere knows a whole lot about prime time. But again, this is one of these deals that's not just about him. It has to make sense for the coaches. If he can't get the coaches he wants with the money, it's not going to work. That's why I think that the Colorado deal is more of an obtainable situation and goal and more of a challenging thing for Deion. I don't think USF is a challenging thing. You can turn that around in 1 year. But I think Colorado is one of those things where you can probably build a tenure. You can get a 10-year plan going right there. If he go to USF, that's a 2-year, that's a 2 or 4 year deal there, and he's leaving. But with Colorado, that's tenure. That's a statue one day. That's a street. That's a building named after me or one of my kids. That's what Colorado is. But it has to make sense for Deion and his coach.
Now, if he does decide to change schools, do you think Deion already has a place for Jackson State that one of his assistants will be promoted up as a head coach there?
Hell yeah. That has always been a plan. When you know what you want, there's always a plan. Everybody knows what they want to do. Everybody already knows. When you know what you want, you already got everything set up. So that's the least of my worries. Who's going to be the next one there? He's not going to set him up for failure, him or her. And you hear what I said? I said her. I said him or her.
Oh, yeah.
Keep that in mind.
I wouldn't be surprised if he ain't got somebody, male or female. Mm-hmm. I mean, the way he's been setting up. Mm-hmm. Now, my take here is to you. Will Deion have to explain, because he's going to continue his tradition, going to stadiums and walking the whole entire length of the field, around the stadium, the whole layout. Will he have to explain that to other teams coming into it?
No,
because if you look with some of the one person that had that one beef about it, thought he was trying to show him up and try to steal plays and stuff. Yeah, and try to steal plays from him by doing that. But it's just been a natural thing for him. He's been doing it since his pro career.
Football people do strange shit. Sports fanatics do strange shit. That he'll fit right in. There's some coaches in football that do things way stranger than that. And we both know that. I mean, hell, look at what Florida football coach wife used to do. She used to kiss the players on the mouth. So a coach want to just walk around the field? Go ahead, coach.
Yeah. So you think he's going to – there's been rumors that the Colorado job is the job that he's going to announce on Sunday. But the interesting thing, Deion Sanders, he said that there rumors been out that he's going to take the Colorado job because it's a Power 5 conference. But there's also a late bloom in Cincinnati coming in the last play coming up because they're moving to the Pac-12 next year too.
Wait a minute. Hold on, Ray. I just saw something. Deion's going to take the Colorado job. He's going to coach there for 2 years. Then he's going to be Denver's head football coach for my 55th birthday. God damn it. This is all making sense now. I'm moving to Colorado. Yeah. I'm moving off the grid. Yeah.
You going to
living in RV. That's it. I'm moving to Colorado. Here I come. I'm selling everything. I'm moving.
You going to Mile High City? Going to the Mile High City of Denver?
Yeah. Hell yeah. I'm gone. Bye. I'm out of here. Bye, St. Louis.
You better get your oxygen going then. You better take your oxygen tank with you,
I'm
too.
I'm fine with that.
The air's thin up there. The air's thin up there.
30-year-old that's left-handed. She can drive. I'm ready. I'm moving to Colorado. I see it now. Deion's going to be the next Broncos coach in 2 years.
Yes. You hear it here. If he announced Colorado, that's why. Dre's already talked to him.
Yeah, Dre's moving to Colorado.
Yeah, he's already giving you the thing. All right, before we move to the big Utah versus USC game from last night, I got to get your take on this. The former quarterback that got suspended from Florida, Kitna, who has now been arrested for child pornography. What is your take on that? The breaking news that happened over the weekend.
How can I put this? I don't talk about when athletes get in trouble, so I didn't read the story. I just saw it. I didn't read it. So can you tell me what happened? Because I don't talk about when athletes get in trouble. I just
my understanding of the story, because they really haven't put it out what had happened, that he got stopped on a routine traffic stop. They were doing how in the state of Florida they set up the DUI checkpoints and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. Well, they set up a checkpoint. My understanding of this They set up a checkpoint for DUI. They stopped him just to check his driver's license, basically to make sure that he's not smell alcohol, look like he's drunk or anything like that. Well, they found tapes, DVD tapes on the other passenger side of the seat. It had little kids' names and ages on them.
What?
Yeah. That's my understanding. But they haven't really publicized it because Florida's don't want to really make it bad because till they got him suspended. So more reports going to come out to probably today or tomorrow because Florida's finally suspended from the program.
I saw the story on it was on ESPN's website yesterday, and 3 minutes later it was gone. So I never clicked on it and read about it because again, I don't talk about athletes get in trouble. I mean, that's just none of my business. But I had no idea that's huge. I mean, he's in Florida. He's a young kid. There's no telling where this could lead to. There's no telling. And if you checking my license, why the hell are you in my passenger seat?
Because they looked at when they looked down in his car because they had to bend over to look down and get his license and stuff. They had him take a glance, and they have a state of Florida. When you get pulled over now, they don't come to your driver's side if they're on the bypass area. They come on your passenger side now.
Wow.
Away from the interstate itself.
Man, it's been 7 years since I drove.
They come over to your passenger side to get to you on a 4-lane highway. They don't want to get hit because they had a lot of officers in the past get hit while they're doing traffic stops. So they now come over. But if they have a 2-man team, one goes to the passenger side and the other one goes to the driver's side. But
this is a white kid?
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
It's Jalen Kitna. His dad was an NFL quarterback.
Oh, John Kitna's kid. That's right. Oh, yeah. Oh, this is bad.
Yeah.
This is bad. This is holy shit. This FBI. That's not good at all.
Yeah, let me see here. I found one story on it here. Let me see here. Said the backup quarterback was released on an $80,000 bond on Thursday, a day after he was arrested for 5 charges involving child abuse images. Judge Matthew Rawls set the bond and its condition for Kitna's release ordered him not to have any unsupervised contact with minors and not to have any internet access.
So he can't have a cell phone, no PlayStation, no smart TV. He's fucked.
And Kitna sobbed into his hands when his father, former NFL quarterback John Kitna, and mother Jennifer Kitna addressed the court during a 75-minute appearance. Jalen Kitna was at Alachua County Jail and on a closed-circuit feed when John and Jennifer Kitna stepped to the podium in the courtroom and promised that he would supervise their 19-year-old son at their home in Texas. So he's got a great family. He's got a great family support, but he's going to be well taken care of. Kitna's attorney, Caleb Kitna, said outside of the courtroom, the Gainesville Police Department released Kitna on the arrest report on Thursday, providing details about the complaint filed against him. This was a complaint, not the driving incident. He did get stopped by a driver, but this is a complaint that was put in. I guess they did an investigation. Florida has a task force now. If you search the internet for porn and stuff, they're gonna be watching for you. They got a task force.
Dude, he can't have internet access, so he can't. His parents have money. There's a smart TV in the house. That's a violation right there.
Yeah. It has to be supervised.
If he had a smartwatch, violation.
Yep.
So
his life is done.
So either he's about to lie on a teammate or somebody's daddy or really tell the truth. This is going to get interesting here.
Oh, this is how they got him. Now they're releasing everything.
Oh shit!
Everybody thought it was the driving incident, the license and stuff like that, because that's what the initial report came out. Because he did get stopped by the police for speeding, I guess, or drinking and driving, one of the two. But Kitna shared 2 images of a girl. Police said report, adding the phrase "so young, Junior" was written on both pictures. Kitna told a detective he thought they were legal age because They found them online. When the police searched Kitna's phone, they found 3 more images of girls. According to the report, those 3 images were saved to his cell phone last December. Police said the report did not estimate the age of the girls. Kitna also told police he had been in other messaging groups on at least one or other social media platforms that describe similar material, according to the arrest report. Discord had previously deactivated
on everybody. He about to tell everybody.
Yeah, and even Discord had previously deactivated Kitna's account because of violation of terms of service, police said. Discord had zero tolerance for policy for child sexual abuse. So I guess he was on Discord.
What? So. All that from a traffic stop?
Yeah.
Shit. This is, man, that's FBI shit right here. This is bad. This is horrible. And I already know my Florida football program is horrible, dysfunctional. But this is, Jesus.
Damian said that Deion would be a good coach for the Raiders. Deion Sanders replacing Steve Sarkisian in Texas.
No.
I don't think so. I think because Texas is not even in the 3 list that they put out.
You know, a lot of people, man, when people hear vacancies, they're thinking about themselves. You got to think of the whole totality of the situation. Why would Deion go to Texas? Why would Deion go to Auburn? You got to make it make sense on paper. You can do that with USF. You can do that with Colorado. But with those other schools, you can't fucking do that.
Well, some people are just putting him because he did live in Texas and, you know.
He's always lived in Texas and Florida. Yeah. He's always in a house in both of those states.
And he was just dealing with the Auburn situation because his name was just came out to be trying for a Power 5, looking for a head coaching job. And Auburn was at that time assistant, but Auburn went out and got Hugh Freeze. So, you know.
Well, Auburn is one of those institutions where they want to be heavily involved in the coach's progressions, if you know what I mean.
Oh, yeah.
And Deion don't want to be in a program like that.
Nope.
You know, if you want him to coach, let him coach. Auburn is not an institution like that. Auburn is an institution where they want to be involved in everything that is going on. There are not a lot of institutions that still live by that creed and culture that are on the list for Deion Sanders to possibly go to prime time. But I see why he is coming to Colorado. Let's go. I'm calling up my account next week, my lawyer. We're going to figure out the logistics because Dre is leaving St. Louis. I'm moving to Colorado. I'm taking my talents to Colorado because Deion will be our next Denver Bronco head coach. And I want to be there.
That means I think you'll be about 3 hours behind me. Then you have to get up at to do the show. You have to get up at 6 a.m.
It's fine with me. It's fine with me. I get up with the crows anyway. I get up with the crows and the roosters every day.
You got to promise me this: if you go to Denver, make sure you don't leave the show. So, you know.
Oh no, man! I'm here, man. I'm just moving. I'm leaving St. Louis. I want cold weather when I know it's going to be cold.
All right, let's go ahead and move along here. We got the coaching situations. We talked about the coaching. Let's talk about USC and Utah game from last night. Lincoln
Thursday.
Raleigh. Oh, last night.
Thursday
Friday
night.
This is Friday, ain't it?
No, it was Thursday night.
Sure?
Very sure. It was the same night as a Thursday night football game.
You positive it was Thursday night? I
Yep.
swear it was last night.
No. They lost that game Thursday night.
On Turkey Day?
Yes.
Sure?
Turkey Day was not this past Thursday.
Well, Mr. Draymond, ESPN's got their website wrong because it says Friday 2nd. Second was Friday, the day's the 3rd.
Listen, that game was played Thursday. But anyway, USC shit the bed. USC fucked up the what if argument. If USC would have won that game, do you know how important today would be? But because the way they lost and who they lost to, And the point differential, that fucking Nick Saban is still smiling.
Yeah, because he's sitting number 6 in the last ranking.
And how? So today,
and he's above Tennessee.
And today could go in his favor.
Yeah. Because you got two things. You got Michigan sitting there number 2. They play Purdue. Purdue happily upset Michigan from the hangover they had against Ohio State. And if Corum can't play, then you might have a little bit of a situation. But if TCU loses today, then you're going to leave that wide open because TCU, out of all accounts, will be knocked out of the college playoffs.
USC had one job. Win the fucking game. That's all I had to do. Win the game.
Yeah. But he's too busy painting his fingernails, putting Utah on his fingernails. He put Utah on one fingernails and put the F word on the other.
I swear, they had one job, right? One job.
Now, all right, let me tell you that. Lincoln Riley, he can't win the
exceptional year. He still did something that nobody thought he would do.
Right.
Nobody thought USC would be there.
But when it comes to the big game, he's fell.
But for the first year, I give him that. Caleb screwed up. I blame Caleb on this. It's his fault. He put Caleb in a winning situation to be in the Heisman conversation. I think Caleb has a dinner for 2 in New York. I think he has the invite. He's not going to win it. If he'd have won that game, hell yeah. There are people talking about college football in California in December. When the last time that happened?
I don't know.
Exactly. Lincoln Riley did what he said he was going to do. It's on. All he has to do now is go from. Now we can go back. We got to go beyond what we did this year.
Now, to your opinion, the game was tight going into halftime at 17-17. Utah came out, I guess, struck first, got 24 points, up to 24-17. Fourth quarter, everything went to bad because Utah scored 23 points in the fourth quarter to USC 7. What happened in the fourth quarter?
The defense said, "To hell with it." Defense and Caleb, you got to have leadership, composure, the skill set, and the mindset. Just because they scored in 3 minutes don't mean you got to score in a minute and a half. Understand the window of opportunity. You see what your defense been doing. They've been running after everybody the whole fucking game. So I blame Caleb and the defense.
I mean, if you look at the stats in this ballgame, I mean, dude.
It got defensive disaster written all over it. Go ahead and tell the people what you saw. Tell the people the numbers.
Dude, you got to look at it here. Third down efficiency, USC was 1 for 12 on third down. Fourth down, they were 3 for 5. Utah wasn't even better. They were 5 and 12 on third down and 1 and 1 on fourth down conversions. When I look at a football team, what does you usually look at? You look at the turnovers. You look at the third down ratio, if they won the third downs, time of possession. Utah didn't even win the time of possession.
No, they did not. They scored so fast. They scored so fast, and USC just fell into the trap.
USC's defense gave up 223 yards rushing to Utah.
They'll be practicing right now. Nobody's watching the USA soccer game. We practicing, guys. We're going to practice.
USC only rushed 56 yards, but they passed for 363, but Utah was balanced. They were 310 yards.
Because he was trying to put Caleb in that Heisman front runner. This game was, I think Lincoln screwed up by putting the game in his quarterback and his offensive skill set, scheming his game, and it backfired. There was no defensive preparation. This was a game targeted and triggered to put Caleb to win the Heisman Trophy, and it backfired.
Now, when you say that they changed the game plan around, because all season long he played within the system. Why you go ahead and in championship game, you go change the game plan to try to win them a Heisman? He was already the front runner. Really, he was already the front runner before this game even happened.
No, he was not the front runner until after last week's win, and that's when everybody really started noticing and showing what he's been doing all year. So that game Thursday was going to catapult and really capture the whole essence of Caleb and the transformation and the transfer portal and believe in Lincoln and I.M. Riley system. That's all that was about, but it backfired.
But I mean, now if you look at the playoff rankings, Georgia 1, 2 was Michigan, 3 was TCU, 4 was USC. They're going to drop. Number 5 was Ohio State. Ohio State's going to move up, and guess who's sitting in number 6? Alabama. But to me, the Hendon Hooker story of getting hurt for Tennessee, does that affect Tennessee not jumping over Alabama to get back in, even though the head's a one-on-one the head-to-head matchup, Tennessee won?
Well, when you're a one-play action and one-player person team and you're still thriving off a win from 5 weeks ago, that's what you get. So I think Tennessee is done. Ohio State is done. USC is done. And it is basically opened up the floodgates for today to be absolute perfection from UGA, TCU, and Michigan. They need perfection for them. Everybody else just sit back and wait with their hands behind their back. And let's just see the shit show happen. Because USC could have wreaked havoc, Ray. If they would have won that game, they would have wreaked havoc today. It would have put the pressure on the top 5 teams. But now they don't have to do nothing.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at it this way, if Georgia wins their game, beats LSU, they're already a lock in anyway. If they win or lose, they're already a lock. Michigan could be a lock, but they got to win that Big Ten championship to feel comfortable. USC is the only team out of that because Ohio State was ranked number 5 going into this week anyway on the college playoff level. So they would have got in anyway if USC would have won because the rankings would never change. But now since USC has dropped out, that loses up. But now that comes to war with Alabama going in at 8 and going in with 2 losses. Back up to that number 5 spot if that holds the trend on Tuesday after this week, because it's going to be all set after this weekend. Today, after today, that playoff championship committee is going to meet on Tuesday and is going to set the championship playoff, the 4 teams.
I mean, even if TCU wins, they're going to criticize TCU on so many things. Point differential, the weather, the uniform situation. They're gonna check everything about TCU to not allow them in the conversation because of what happened to USC.
But the problem with that is TCU on their schedule, they have played ranked teams and then beat these ranked teams.
We know. So, we all know this, but that's the same reason why Bama is still in the conversation. It's it's the quality of wins, it's the strength of the schedule, and it's the point differential. And again, I hate to say this, but USC could have took all that shit away by winning that fucking game.
But if you look at this point of view too, everybody can win in that top 3 and still put Alabama in because USC will drop out. Ohio State will move up to number 4. Alabama will fall into number 5.
Ohio State's done. They're not playing no more football this year. They're done.
Yeah, but I mean, Ohio State's ranked number 5 right now in the college playoffs.
Right. So if you're idle, how can you move? That means people in front of you got to lose.
This is how you move. USC will drop out, and Ohio State will move on to that USC spot and bring Alabama up from number 6 to number 5. If that trend holds.
The only way that trend holds if people lose in front of Ohio State. But if they win, Ohio State is done. USC is done.
USC was number 4 in the college playoff rankings. So USC will drop out.
But this morning,
Ohio State will move up number 4.
This morning, as the coaches are talking to their teams that are playing today, Ohio State and USC are not on anybody's mind because Ohio State was done last week. That was it.
Right.
USC fucked it up for everybody Thursday. So going into this morning's conversation, there's no scenario for them. None. There's no winnable situation for them.
Hold on. USC is sitting at number 4 in the last college playoff ranking, correct?
That was the week before Thanksgiving.
Right. No, this is the last week. They did last Tuesday before Thanksgiving weekend. Okay. USC just lost
Thursday.
So they're going to drop from number 4. Ohio State's going to bounce to number 5 and from number 5 to number 4. Alabama's going to drop up from number 6 to number 5 in the next ranking if they hold that trend. The last trend they have held bumped up everybody one spot.
So all I'm saying, Ray, hear me out on this. I understand what you're trying to say. The only reason that would make sense if the 1, 2, 3, and 4 stays the same for Tuesday. And that's nowhere in the fuck that's going to happen.
Well, 1, 2, and 3 haven't played yet. Number 4 has played USC. They're going to drop out.
That changed.
Drop out. But number 5 ranking is Ohio State. They will move to the number 4 spot. The number 6 team is Alabama. Will move into the number 5 spot. They move everybody up 1. That's what I'm saying.
No.
Because your number 1 is Georgia. Your number 2 is Michigan. Your number 3 is TCU. Number 4 is USC. Number 5 is Ohio State.
It was. This morning, as they're talking to the teams, USC is not 4 anymore. They lost.
But your number 5 team sitting right there is
Ohio
State.
State's not playing again until January.
If you're not going to move Ohio State up, who's going to be number 4? Is Alabama going to leapfrog over Ohio State?
Bama's done too, right? Is Bama got one more game?
No, Bama's done complete.
They're done. So you have 3 teams that are idle as of this morning.
Right.
There's the only team that has lost.
But number 4. But out of your whole scenario, number 4 is the vacant spot on the college playoff because they lost this week. Number 4 is the vacant spot.
Yeah, that's it.
So
those 3 scenarios right there, they cannot match. The only way that Nick Saban is going to fucking smile and sleep with his old ass wife if TCU loses. But if TCU loses, that opens the fucking floodgate up.
Hold up. Your whole scenario here is USC is not going to move from that to the number 4 spot because Alabama's sitting number 6 right now.
They're going to Bama has already leapfrogged USC.
All right, so if they leapfrog, they're going to have to leapfrog over a one-loss team. They only lost to number 2. They only lost to number 3 at the time was Michigan.
Yep.
So they're going to leapfrog over top of Ohio State and move that number 4 spot.
We talked about this. It's not when you lose, it's who you lose and how you lose and that point differential. Who beat Bama? What was the point differential? What was the ranking at the time? And who were they at that moment?
Well, the 2 teams that beat them was LSU.
What was the ranking at the time?
Oh, I'm going to tell you.
Mm-hmm. That's what I'm saying. USC they could have written the perfect Hollywood story by winning that game Thursday.
Well, Alabama was ranked number 6. LSU was ranked number 11. And they lost.
And Tennessee. What's going on at the LSU program, by the way, legality-wise? Okay, that's a mitigating factor. Then who else did Bama lose to?
Bama lost to ranked number 17. Hold on. Let me make sure that's right because I got to put Alabama. Alabama was 6 ranked. Tennessee was 7 ranked when they lost. That's the 2 losses they had. But if you look at the 2 losses they had, Tennessee has lost to an unranked South Carolina team. Tennessee has lost to another. So that eliminates the 2 losses right there because they Tennessee went on a 2-game losing streak. You know, they lost to an unranked South Carolina team badly.
But they lost in what month, Ray? What month did they lose in? November. In what month you can't lose in football?
I understand that, November.
Yeah.
But the problem is October 15th was this game. And then Alabama
was early enough. Yeah. I feel both theories in this with Bama. I'm feeling both theories on the USC side. But as a college football person, a fan or an analyst or somebody on the panel, it had a lot of similarities to when Florida won a national championship and we lost that game to Mississippi State. It had a lot of intangibles the year that UGA fell twice to Bama in one season. It's when, how, and who you lose to. Once you get in November and December, all that shit out the window. Whatever happens in October, nobody even fucking remembers. November and December is where it really counts at.
I understand that, but right now you only got one. As of right now, as of this minute, if the bowl game started right now and the committee was meeting right now before any other team was playing, if the season ended, USC was the only number 4 spot that's vacant. So you're going to say Alabama was going to leapfrog over top of Ohio State, but the only team they lost to, Ohio State, was lost to a ranked number 3 team. And that was the last game of the season.
Yep. Damn right they will.
I don't see that happen because Alabama's 2 losses have now gone undiminished because they have lost to an unranked South Carolina team at the time badly. That Tennessee, that's a bad loss for Alabama because Tennessee has a bad loss on their resume.
Ohio State losing to Michigan in November is the biggest foil, and USC losing Thursday night is the biggest foil. Those 2 games really halted all conversations. It really brought up the same thing everybody's talking about today. How in the fuck is Alabama still in this conversation?
Well, to me, Alabama will be the 5th ranked team.
That's what I said. They're going to leapfrog USC.
They'll leapfrog USC, but they're going to be the 5th ranked team because Ohio State's going to move from number 5 to number 4.
Hell no. No.
Yes, they will.
No.
Yes, they will. Because the only bad loss that Ohio State lost to, if Michigan wins the championship game today, it'll be to the Big Ten champion.
If Michigan loses, yes. If Michigan wins, it's horrible for Ohio State. Horrible. And I'm taking the V off. I can't call them that no more.
I don't see how that's horrible when they lost to number 3 ranked team in the nation. They lost to a top 5 team.
Yes.
The only one loss they have.
I give a damn. When you get the job at Ohio State, your job is to beat who? Michigan. That's your only goal you should be able to do is to beat Michigan. They can lose every damn football game. Beat Michigan. You're going to keep your job.
It don't matter because right now, if whatever scenario you use here, Alabama leapfrogs over, Ohio State moves up 1, it's still going to be 2 Big Ten teams in the 2 SEC teams, and one, in this scenario. Actually, not really. Yeah, 2 SEC. It could be either 2 SEC teams or 2 Big Ten teams, and fighting this battle. But if Clemson just say if Clemson blows out North Carolina today, but they have they have the ACC title. But then if you're going to go up against a 2-loss team of Alabama with the 2-loss team of what Clemson's got 3 losses now. Now they got 2. With the 2-loss team of Clemson, but the Clemson holds the ACC title.
Right.
So if they say they're looking at big factors, could Clemson jump all of them and hit that number 4 spot because they have the title? They have a conference title?
That's more of a point differential thing. I think it'd be more – that's going to come into play today, I think, more than anything, point differential today because so many teams been idle today. A lot of college teams finished up last week. A lot of people don't even know that.
I mean, the only thing with Clemson and North Carolina is, and this ball game is, Carolina's got an offense that can match Clemson's offense, but Carolina's defense can't match Clemson's defense. That's the problem. And we have seen over the last 2 weeks from North Carolina, when we're going to talk about today, when we started breaking these down, is that North Carolina's defense cannot play the run, cannot play certain things. You see what NC State did to them. You see what Georgia Tech did to them the last 2 games. They had a hard time against Wake Forest, but pulled out on that at the end. So, I mean, Clemson, if Clemson does get on this thing, and I guarantee you, if Clemson plays the backup quarterback today, because Carolina cannot play against a mobile quarterback whatsoever, Clemson could blow out North Carolina today 50-3.
So you're saying you guys sandbagging for the NFL draft? Carolina plans, are they not playing? They pulling a Bosa type of situation.
No, if you look at North Carolina, hold on. If you look at North Carolina's last 2 games of the season, against NC State, they went in overtime to NC State and they lost. Carolina's defense can't really stop anybody on a given night. If you look at that Notre Dame game against North Carolina, right. Notre Dame physically punished them with the running game and with the tight end. But NC State had a quarterback that he was a pocket passer, but they rolled him out in certain situations. But North Carolina State's defense was a whole lot better than any defense in the ACC. I think they were ranked number 1 in the ACC in defense.
Okay.
So, they really shut down May's pass, and they game tackled May, and they made not throw deep, throw short. So, they really physically put May in a bind because his play the last 2 weeks has gone down.
Is he getting an invite to New York City? Is he in the Heisman dinner?
I don't know if he got an invite, but I know he ain't winning the Heisman over the last 2 performances.
Because I thought last week they were talking right before the game about the Heisman in New York situation. I didn't know if that game last week shut down the invitation or he didn't open his email yet or do the RSVP.
I don't know. He's racked up ACC Player of the Year, Rookie Freshman of the Year. He's done rack up some awards in the ACC. He a
true freshman?
No, he's a redshirt freshman.
Oh, okay.
He played 1 game last year when Sam Howell got hurt. Him and Coswell.
Mm-hmm.
And then they had a quarterback battle all the way up to spring. He won it in the fall camp.
You watching the soccer game?
Nah, not yet.
Okay, it's on.
But if you look at this situation right here, though, if they always said they value conference championship to a point. So if you got 2 teams, you got 2 teams sitting in front, 3 teams sitting in front of them that didn't win their conference championship with 2 losses. But if Clemson does go and say they win 50-3, just put that scenario out.
Right.
Would that give them enough points to jump up over the teams that are ahead of them because they had that conference championship? If the committee said they value conference championship more than anything.
I feel what you're saying. I like that idea. I feel the theory, but it's all, again, based on the teams in front of them. Are they idle today? Are they playing later? Are they lost? Or are we leaving the record as is? We're just basing it just on what they do on this game scenario.
Well, if you're looking at the 2 lost teams, Clemson, out of all the 2 lost, Ohio State would be the only one that they can't really jump over because they only got 1 loss. But if you look at the two idle teams in Tennessee and Alabama that's ahead of them, and they have that conference championship, then the committee's got to at least put them over top of Alabama and Tennessee with the 2 lost teams because they have a championship. Alabama and them don't have a championship.
Man.
That's if they value the championships more than what they say.
If they do that would be impressive. That'd be some good arithmetic.
Because if you look at it too, Clemson's 10-2, and they have an ACC title if they win the championship game today. And when you say the committee's always said they value championship more than anything else, but this is really going to test them if they're going to stick behind what they say about about conference titles right here. That's where they're going to stay. But if you look in the history in the past, conference titles didn't really mean nothing because Alabama got in there without a conference title and overjump a Pac-12 champion. So
today is going to be an interesting day. Last weekend, Thursday, and today is going to make Tuesday that much more interesting to me.
KC Joe said biscuits and gravy, baby.
It's Cassie Joe. That's my homie right there. Yeah, the bar down the street,
yeah,
man. They're showing the soccer game.
And she also said that Clemson can beat Alabama.
She's an Ugga fan. Huge Ugga fan. But they're doing biscuits and gravy down the street, man. I meant to go down there and get us some before the show started, but I forgot.
Yeah. So, I mean, that's going to be some situations here. So, when we get back after this commercial break here, we're going to take another break, and then we're going to start breaking down the 9 games, 8 conference championship games, and the 1 overall game that's being played today. So we have 9 total games to break down. The breakdown college segment is coming back. We'll be back on the All Sports All Plays College Breakdown Show on the All Sports All Plays Network. I am Ray. That is Dre. We'll be right back.
All Sports All Plays. All Sports All Plays. All Sports All Plays. 365, we're making a plays. We're talking the game, get you through the days. We're high in the court, the dime in the lane. Variety, topics, living the same. All presentation, sports information. In the airways, taking the nation. All sport, all plays, like working your faces. Grace at the field, so tie the laces. All Sports All Plays. All Sports All Plays. We on top of our game. All Sports All Plays. All Sports All Plays.
What did you say?
I said Kobe Bean Bryant has been overrated ever since he passed away.
Now, I'd say they could lose about 4, but I don't see them losing 5. You know what I mean?
All Sports All Plays. All Sports All Plays. All Sports All Plays.
This is the Funks D Streaming Network. Register to come on our channel at funksdnetwork.com.
Welcome back to the All Sports All Plays Network. I am Ray Cruz. Dre will be right back here from the break. We're going to get ready to start down our college breakdown segment of the weekend game here. We got 9 total games. 8 of them is conference championship. One is not a conference championship. One is overall game with Valparaiso, the Bacons versus the New Mexico State. We'll be bringing some of that comments here as we move on into the schedule. The thing, pick up a little bit on the college playoffs. This is going to be interesting. This is a very important college playoff week to set up these bowl games and the championship game and the first 4. So the question me and Dre had, let's take it out here. Does Alabama get back over? Did they leapfrog the 1-loss team of Ohio State, who lost? The only loss was to Michigan. And does Clemson's ACC title play in the big picture of the role? Because the college playoff committee said that they do value more of a conference championship, but in the past they really haven't showed that because Alabama got back in without winning the conference championship. So, does Alabama leapfrog over Ohio State to make that number 4 spot since USC has vacated it on that loss last night against Utah? So that's the situation I want to hear from the fans throughout the show. We'll bring the comments up. We'll talk about it. We do have a breakdown. We will be breaking down number 10, Kansas State, and number 3, TCU will be our first breakdown on the All Sports All Plays Network here on the College Breakdown Show. We'll go ahead and bring in my co-host back in here. My co-host, who is the owner of the Who's to Blame podcast from St. Louis, the only man that wears beads on this show, proud of his heritage, a Florida Gator out in St. Louis, could be transitioning back into Denver if Deion takes that Colorado job, thinks he's going to take the Denver Broncos job on the top of that. So where he's going to the state where weed is legal, My boy, the only man, the man that with the myth, Dre Montez.
Yes, Colorado, I've already put my official letter into the state of Missouri. I am leaving Missouri if Deion Sanders takes the coaching job in Colorado. I'm out.
So that could become official. Will we see that on our Twitter page or our All Sports All Plays Facebook page if it comes true tomorrow?
I'm calling one of my sponsors to help me move. St. Louis Best Moving. We're gonna get me up out of here, and I'm moving to Colorado. I'm out. Bye. I will leave Missouri. Mom and Dad, I love you. I gotta go. Deion, take that job, man. I'm moving. I've never moved out of a state because of a sport. I moved to a state because of a woman. Well, I was an idiot. But I've never moved to a state because of a sports hire. This would be the first. If you can move to a state for a man or a woman, you can move to a state because of a coaching job. Colorado, where I come.
But the question is, I thought you were going to move to Florida without the state taxes. Now you're going to go move Colorado with the state tax still?
You know, the type of women that I like and prefer, Colorado is up there too with Florida. So,
you like the mountain girls?
That's
what you're saying?
Yes.
You like the mountain girls?
Yes.
The hillbilly looking girls?
Oh, bring it. Bring it. Barefoot? No, let's go.
Snagger tooth?
Long as she 4'11" and 5'6", we good. We good. I don't know nobody taller than that. No.
All right, my friend. We're going to talk about number 10, Kansas State versus number 3, TCU. This is an interesting matchup at the AT&T Stadium in Arlington, Texas. This is the Dr. Pepper presents the Big 12 championship game. TCU is favored by 1 point. The over and under is 60.5. This could be a physical running battle between both teams, but TCU can pass a little bit better. What does number 10, Kansas State, have to do to keep TCU's offense and their defense at bay today to pull this upset?
Considering the way that TCU has had some close calls in probably 4 or 5 games this year, they all came in the second half. But with K-State, they've been pretty much consistent on what they can do to college football teams. I think it's more of the underestimating them, if anything. So I don't think K-State needs to do anything different. Just continue to do the K-State things. And TCU has been more susceptible to teams falling into that euphoria moment, utopia moment right there of they don't know what to do when they get the ball. And it turns out to be in a favor of TCU in the second half. And then people say, how did they win that game? Because they gave the ball to TCU at an opportune time. And I can't see K-State doing that today. This could be just like the game Thursday night. This game here was not going to mean nothing if USC would have won. I put it this way. If USC would have won, TCU would have played their incoming freshman in this game. But now everybody got to play. The coach got to really earn his money now. He got to coach this game. He didn't want to coach today. But now he got to coach. TCU has to dominate this game, and they're not going to be able to do that. It's going to be a tough, hard game for them to win, to dominate. As much as everybody wants them to dominate this game because of what USC did, it's not going to turn out that way. It's a plus win for K-State, plus. Even if they lose by 3, even if they lose by less than 10, K-State still wins the situational outcome of this.
Now, if you look at this too, is the quarterback position is going to be Max Duggan for TCU versus Will Howard for K-State.
Mm-hmm.
Aaron Martinez got hurt. This is the first year that Howard took the previous 2 seasons until Aaron Martinez got hurt. So I mean, if you look at this, Howard has come in, has 13 passes TD in his last 5 games. Duggan does leave the Big 12 leader with 3,070 yards and 29 touchdown passing with 3 interceptions. So he doesn't turn the ball over much, but he is a threat in rushing. Both quarterbacks are pretty good in run ability, but Mac Duggan's a little bit better. K-State defense is matched up against a running quarterback and a passing quarterback that is a dual threat. Are they going to have a spy on the quarterback?
I don't think that's been their thing. I think that's just been that roving linebacker type defense they've been playing. I think it's like a take out of the the nickel formation is what K-State has been doing, which is pretty impressive. They have a lot of speed on defense exclusively in that linebacker position. They got a lot of two-sided athletes playing that linebacker position. It's going to really make sense next year on the wide receiving core that are linebackers this year. But anyway, I like what that defense has been doing. I don't think it's anything special. I just think it's the speed of the linebacking core that they have.
And then both teams are coming in off victories. K-State beat KU, Kansas 47-27. And Iowa State was the last opponent for TCU, and they won 62-42 against Iowa State on their last game of the season.
That was a lot of points that defense game up, and I know those points were like lagging points to please, your bookie, your neighborhood push and pull, your boosters, all that. But that's still a lot of points that defense allowed.
Yeah, and then you got
it was late.
How impressive job has Sonny Dykes has impressed you at TCU and his coaching ability and keeping them at relevant? Because at this time of year, in November time of year, TCU had that big thought of losing games in November, but he kept these games going into now. We're getting into December and keeping them into the College Bowl playoffs in his first season at TCU.
I think they only had one big blowout win in the month of November. The rest were very close calls. He really impressed me with the composure and the analogy of Sean Payton when he told his kicker, Rampage, and the way that TCU got on that field with no timeouts at all and kicked that game-winning field goal. That right there impressed me more than anything with TCU this year.
And if you look at TCU, they have 6 wins over the top 25 teams.
Yeah.
And they started that big. The really turned this season really to where it became special is that October 1st game against Oklahoma when Oklahoma was ranked in the top 10. And they really beat them 55-24. It started the process of Oklahoma falling down and their process going up. But if you look at that whole week, they had 4 ranked teams. They played 4 ranked teams in that week. Right after they played 3 more ranked teams. Number 9 at the end of number 19 was Kansas. Number 8 was Oklahoma State. Number 17, Kansas State. And they beat Kansas State 38-28. They beat Oklahoma State 43-40 in 2 overtimes. They beat Kansas 38-31 to hand Kansas their first loss. And then they beat Oklahoma. So they beat 4 ranked teams in that one stretch. And then they beat Texas down in November. Is the only ranked team to beat is Texas in November. And that was 17-10.
See, that's why the committee gave TCU such a hard time to me, that Oklahoma victory, because we knew that program was going to shit to handbasket real fast. When even a week before that matchup, we knew that OK program was not well. So that's why the committee and the powers that be is not giving TCU the respect they deserve and should need, the Horned Frog Nation, because of the fact when they beat Oklahoma. Now you bring up the November schedule. Those were all close matchups, but look at the matchups. There was really no challenging factor other than that October victory. But the outside schools were playing tougher matchups. TCU had that crazy run of victories in November. And again, it came up to play again. Well, who are they playing now? But everybody's been waiting on TCU to fall in November. I was a fan of them because they've never won in November. They always fuck it up. But today could be that day. Now all the pressure on them because of what happened Thursday with USC. It's not fair. I don't like it.
But
It's not fair. They're being judged on their – this is crazy. If you think about it, TCU, Ohio State, Bama, and USC are being pretty much challenged like they're like actually humans in a dating world. They're judging you on who you dated, who you lost to, who you slept with, what did you do. That's how they're being judged right now. That's the funny thing. You really want to put some ideology behind it, or put some what you call this? What's the word I'm looking for? Oh my God, what am I trying to say here?
spit it out, man. Spit it out.
I'm trying to make it make sense, Dre. This TCU situation is like a dating app profile. It really is. We're basing TCU based on everything they have done that doesn't make sense to us, even though it's a positive thing for them. You know, it's crazy. You won, but that is the craziest shit ever. They have no losses, but we have a but after every time anybody talks about TCU. Is that fair or not?
I mean, they're still undefeated, and if you stay undefeated, they're going to be in the college playoff because, I mean, you're not going to throw a one-loss or a two-loss team over top of an undefeated team. No way. I'm sorry.
Hold on. Here's what could happen today. Let's say TCU is the only team to lose today in the top 10.
Oh, that bar be jump frog, but if they win today, they're not going to be jump frog. They're going.
No. I want to go what you said. It'd be a far stretch to see if TCU get kicked out of the college playoff situation. Let's say they lose today. All right? Mm-hmm. You got a 2-loss Bama team. You got a 1-loss TCU team. Who are you inviting to the party to come play with the other kids?
Well, I'm gonna tell you. I'm gonna put the schedule to the test right here, too. How many teams has TCU beat that were ranked this year? How many? 6.
4. 6.
Beat 6 ranked teams. Alabama this year has only played 1, 2, 3, 4. They only played 5 ranked teams, and they lost to 2 of them.
Okay, I get what you're saying, but when you the star, you don't have to go nowhere to bring shine to you. TCU trying to get the shine. Bama doesn't need that. You need to beat Bama to get the shine. Wow. Bama has to do nothing. When you are the star, when you are the winner, you got to do nothing.
I'm going to tell you
that is the only thing that is helping Bama.
I'm going to tell you like it is. If a 2-loss team gets in over a undefeated team or a 1-loss team, then it's a far cry because the 1-loss team that's sitting there only lost to the number 3 ranked team, and if possibility could be the Big Ten champion with the win today.
The committee does not want to be embarrassed. They don't want to be a mockery. They want to make sure they get it right. Every time we try to challenge them, somebody loses to fuck up the scenario, USC.
But then
Hawaii back in 2006.
If you look at Ohio State fans are going to say, oh, it's been rigged because we only lost 1 game. We lost to a top-ranked team, top 5 team in Michigan. Yeah, even though it's the last game of the season, but it's only 1 loss, but against a ranked team. Alabama has lost 2 games during the season, and they're going to leapfrog, and then you're going to have all the Ohio State fans looking at it and say, oh, this thing is already rigged for the SEC because the SEC is going to have 2 teams in.
Well, if you want perfection, you go to the SEC. You sound like a Patriots fan the year they lost the 1 game to the Giants. That was the one mitigating factor that you lost. That's Ohio State. You lost the 1 ticket to get you in this conversation.
Well, if you're going to,
I can't listen to them.
Oh, if you're going to talk about, if you're going to talk about that too,
yeah.
Then Alabama lost to 2 SEC teams.
That's fine.
No, it's not fine.
Yeah. When you lose to people that know you, that's cool.
Look, if you lost to 2 teams, but the 2 teams you lost to have lost to unranked teams in the last 2 weeks.
Right.
So that don't help you. That don't help your cause.
Right. Ohio State could have helped their whole cause by beating Michigan. USC could have shut everybody up by winning that game Thursday.
Then we'd be still talking about the same thing.
No, we would not.
Michigan,
if Ohio State would have won and USC would have won, Bama with Nick Saban would have probably retired by now. Emergency press conference retired. There's no way Bama's even in the conversation if Ohio State would have won and USC would have won. There's no way Bama is in this conversation at all.
Bama should be in this conversation at all anyway.
No, because what happened?
But still, if you look at the college rankings, hold on. If you look at the college rankings right now,
yeah,
that Ohio State, they only dropped Ohio State 3 spots when they lost to Michigan. They put them at number 5.
Okay.
They're both idle.
Right.
So they both got no win, no chance of losing this week.
Right. So what must happen around those two teams for them to move? Tell me.
For Ohio State, USC lost, so that could bounce them right up to number 4.
Okay. Now,
but if TCU wins, that takes Alabama out of the equation.
Say it with me again, people. That's what Dre been trying to say the whole damn day.
But I'm telling you, there ain't no way a 2-team loss is going to overjump Ohio State if TCU wins today. Now, the other scenario could happen too is
if TCU loses. If TCU loses, it opens up the scenario for a 2-team loss.
Right.
A 2-loss team scenario. That's what I'm talking. They win. Nick Saban still may do a press conference Tuesday and retire.
So I mean, it's going to put the test. It's going to put it to a test right now.
What time this game come on?
Oh, this game?
Yeah.
Oh, this game is the first game. This game is the first game of the day, 12 o'clock.
See? They did this last week. They did them the same fucking way last week. Everybody was watching the game to see how they're going to play the game. Didn't I call 2 of those shutouts? I called 2 of those shutouts. I called 2 of them. Same thing going to happen today. It's a lot of players saying, I'm not going to play. If TCU wins, a lot of people are not going to play. If TCU loses, I'm not gambling today, but damn it, my bookie here. So.
All right, let me put it in this scenario. There's a lot of theories out there. If they start seeing makeup calls or calls that they don't see, and K-State wins, and they trying to hold TCU back, is that one scenario that we got to look at too?
Are we talking about the officiating got something to do with this here? This is what you're trying to say, Ray?
Yep. I'm just trying with some of these conspiracy theories out here for
trying
some
to
of these
help
people.
Bama. They trying to help the cause.
Yeah.
You said this the first time that Bama lost. You said this. You said the officials going to try to do whatever they can to make sure Bama is in the conversation.
I said it. I'll admit it. I'll say it. I'm one of those conspiracy theories.
I want that. We would have been in the JFK scenario. If those 2 things would have happened last week, I would have been like here with everybody. Okay, now I'm feeling you. But now you got one man in all of college football doing this today. Saban. He's still going to have his say in this situation. How in the hell is Bama still in this scenario, man? How? As good as Uga has played.
Well, Bama won't be in the scenario if TCU handles their business today.
Ray, I hope you're right. I really do hope you're right. But the asshole in me, I want to see them lose. And I want to see how people are going to make this conversation make sense on Tuesday.
All right, so who you got? Who you got in this ball game?
Man, give me TCU, man. Give me them Horned Frogs, man. Come on. Or they could be a scorned frog today. We don't know. Or a burned frog. Either way, somebody should lick some toad today.
I'm going with you, too. I picked TCU just the reason because I don't want to see Alabama back in the championship.
No, we cleared it out. We were down 1-0. I don't see the score now.
Oh, okay. All righty, my friend. The next game we're going to take a little break out of the scenario of the college playoffs. We're going to get these small teams that play today a little bit of a reprieve on the show. So we're gonna break down the next game here. We're going to give some love to Toledo Rockets versus the Ohio Bobcats today. And this is the MAC championship, the Mid-America Championship game. And this game is played in Ford Field in Detroit, Michigan.
Damn.
Yeah, they're going to Michigan to play this one.
Hey, I tell you what, the people in Detroit have been rewarded with some spectacular sports in November.
Yeah, they had
spectacular.
They had two NFL teams that didn't even belong in Detroit.
And now this. In the way basketball has been going,
and they got this, and then the Jaguars are playing up there in Detroit on Sunday.
Yeah, this is, man, I tell you what.
So
my youngest son Tim, he lives in Detroit. I tell you, Detroit has come a long way. It doesn't look the way people thought, like in the movie Larry Flint anymore. Go check out Detroit soon, but I'm definitely going to pull for Toledo in this situation.
Yeah, we look at Toledo. Toledo's team is a team of rushing. They have a guy named Stewart who has carried the ball 102 times for only 566 yards for 3 touchdowns. But they only have a quarterback that only passed the ball for 156 out of 266, but only got 1,973 yards and 21 touchdowns and 10 interceptions. But on the other hand, Ohio quarterback has been really productive with 244 out of 353 for 3,256 yards and 25 touchdowns and 4 interceptions. So you got one quarterback who has a high interception and with a high touchdown rate. You have one with a low interception, so he takes care of the ball. What does Toledo have to do to establish their running attack that's been a lanai, basically? And the Ohio Bobcats are not even rushing even better. I mean, he's got one guy who's carried 177 times for 884 yards and 11 touchdowns, but he has been the workhorse in the red zone for the team. How do you put pressure on the Ohio Bobcats defense in this ball game? I mean, if you look at Ohio's defense, the Bobcats defense is worse. They allow 305 yards passing and 136 yards rushing. But on the other hand, Toledo's defense has been pretty good. They only allowed 187.3 yards passing, 150 yards, 0.4 rushing. So Toledo's got to run the ball effectively to keep Ohio Bobcats quarterback off the field. So how does this team relinquish to take the advantage of what the Bobcats give up at 305 yards passing with their passers it's been lanai all season long?
Okay. You asked me 15 questions right there. So
yeah, I want 15 answers.
Ray, you sound like all 4 Max wives right there. Where are you going? Why do you need it?
What are you going to do? Are you going to go eat? You going to the strip joint? Who are you going with?
What coat you gonna wear?
What? Why are you wearing those clothes?
But with Toledo's run offense, I'm a big fan of Bam on ESPN, how he breaks down the differential in teams' effectiveness and what they're known for. And with Toledo's run offense, they're not going to give up on it, as most people would think when it's not working for them, because that's what they're prone to do. But then when you think you have the running game contained and figured out, then they start throwing the ball. Not even with a little pizzazz or play action. They literally come out and show you, now I'm going to throw the ball. On the other side, when you say what can challenge Ohio Bobcats defense, I would go to the film. What's not working on the defense? Whatever they can't stop, contain, or figure out, that is the challenging point to me. So whether it's the 3rd and 5, the 2nd and 8 situation or understanding the offensive scheme in the red zone, figuring that out. They got to figure out what their weakness is on defense. That could be their greatest strength. But in the end, if Toledo goes with their game plan and don't switch off on nothing, don't listen to the naysayers, the media, your local fan base, your incoming recruits. No. We're in this moment because we've been doing this year. The same way Ohio got to look at that. We're in this situation because we've been doing this all year. So I don't see too much of a change. I see both teams doing what they've been doing to get them in this game. And that's why I'm going to pick Toledo, because I like their offense. I really do.
And the one aspect in this ball game is the quarterback for Toledo has got to be more aligned on this game. He should have a big game, because if you look at the Ohio Bobcats defense, they give up 305 yards passing. So, I mean, you got to take what you can get on any given play. So if they take the short immediate passing, and I think that's what Toledo does best. They do the short immediate passing, and then they'll fall you to sleep on defensive corners, and then they do that double move and send somebody deep and get burned on. So how does the Bobcats take their deficiency on the passing game and make it their strength today?
I mean, if you've been ugly your whole life, you can't get cute just on fucking prom. It doesn't work that way. If your defense can't stop a certain thing the whole year, you know you can't do something, how you going to switch it in one game? So I don't think that's the adjustment or the situation that can happen today, as we all would like to see. It could be more of a situation, somebody trying to say, let me try this and see if this works. And it doesn't work, and then that could wake up or see an opportunity on the defense. Well, I can say, okay, we got that. I know about that. Here we go. But I don't think it's going to be a surprise situation with either defense or offense today. In the words of Denny Green, we are who they thought they are.
Yep.
That's it.
I mean, if you look at it, too, I mean, both teams are very, in scoring points-wise, they're very close. Toledo's 33.3 to Ohio's 34.0, and their defense is giving up 27.1 for Toledo, and the Bobcats defense is giving up 29.3. So, I mean, they pretty much, in the scoring zones, are pretty much even. Right now, Toledo's favored by 3 points in this ball game, and the over and under is 54.7. So, are you calling your bookie on this game?
No, this is going to be an entertaining game here. What's the 12 o'clock game or 11?
This is a 12 o'clock game.
Okay.
11 o'clock your time, 12 o'clock my time.
Early game, too. That's 2 early games to start off the bat right there. It's going to be fun.
Yeah, we only got 2 games that starts off at 12. The next game we're coming up to is Valparaiso Bacon versus the New Mexico State Aggies. This game is coming on 3 o'clock. This is the only 3 o'clock kickoff time for Division 1A group, the FBS group that we are covering here.
Mm-hmm.
So let's talk about the Bacons here.
Hey, right before we get into that, can you bring up our overall record? Do you have that? Did you do that already?
No, I forgot to do that. I did it for a reason. All right. Since you wanted to put the embarrassment on me, you were 27-20. I was 22-25. I was under 500 for the first time this season in my picks. But on the other hand, you got me on that one, but I got you on this one. 468 to 262 to 493 to 237.
Holy shit. 468.
Yeah, you can say I'm Nick Saban of college picking between me and you.
Wow.
This will be the second year in a row.
Our college football record looks like a collegiate college coach's career. If I put that on a resume to go get a job, you know what? We're going to use our numbers this year. We're getting a job next year in college football. After that Freeze deal and that Matt Rule shit, that pissed me off. We getting the job next year.
Damon came out and said that Nick Saban has dirt on college football. That's why he's always have them in the playoffs to keep Saban's mouth shut. That's something out of Dre's mouth right there. He got dirt on him. He got dirt on him.
You think he got the actual photo of Jerry Jones?
Oh no, dude, that's kind of that's just messed up, man.
Man, that is not as shocking in 2022. What we know about Jerry Jones, that's not the most shocking thing to me at all. Hell no. No, that is nothing. That ain't nothing. That's more of an eh. When you're a billionaire, that's a eh. I just happened to be there that day. I didn't know what was going on. I'm just curious.
So you taking Toledo in that game?
Yeah, I'm taking Toledo.
I'm gonna take Ohio in that one. All right, my friend. This game is not a conference championship game, but we're gonna go ahead and cover them because we have never gave love in the way to Valparaiso's Bacons versus the New Mexico State Aggies in this ball game. This game is played. This game is played in La Cruces, New Mexico. 28,853 people at 3 p.m. This game is at 50 degrees temperature, and this game will be in New Mexico. So the Bacons, since we haven't covered the Bacons that much this year, or the Aggies, we just picked them.
Have we even talked about Valparaiso this year in football? I know I love them in basketball and soccer.
No. Mr. Pill Jr., the quarterback from Valparaiso, is 133 out of 222, 1,772 yards, 10 touchdowns, 6 interceptions. But they have a 1,000-yard rusher in Dawson with 209 carries, 1,187 yards, and 10 touchdowns. And if you look at New Mexico State, that quarterback is very horrible. And Piva, he's 75 out of 148 for 960 yards and 7 touchdowns and 5 interceptions. So I don't know if he was the starting off quarterback or he's just been put in.
Wait a minute. I got a question.
Yes, you raised your hand. Yes, go ahead.
You just said Valparaiso quarterback has a little over 1,000 yards on the year. And you just said that New Mexico State quarterback has 948 yards passing on the year.
He has 960 yards, and Valparaiso guy has 1,772 yards.
This is not going to be a passing situation game. But go on.
Yeah, because Valparaiso's running back is over 1,000 yards rushing, 1,187. And if you look at the leading rusher for New Mexico State Aggies, he only has 89 carries, 421 yards, and 4 touchdowns. So, my friend, and the Aggies starting wide receiver, the leading wide receiver for him is 18 receptions, 329 yards, no touchdowns. And the Val Bacon's leading receivers is 39 receptions, 711 yards, and 4 touchdowns. So it's not very blistering on the air. They rely more on the running game, and the stat shows it.
That's a lot of running right there, man. But I think there's more options and opportunities with the play action with Valparaiso than it does with New Mexico State. And just listening to those numbers and hearing what you're saying about them and understanding the moment and the time of the year, I can see Valparaiso winning this game easily because I think they can a dual threat with the running, whether it's the quarterback or the running game. They can also throw the ball as well. Not too much of a big ratio with the touchdown interception. So I like that. That's the upside for me.
Yeah. But if according to the analytics of ESPN's matchup predictor, Valparaiso has 3.3% chance of winning to New Mexico State's 96.7%. But if you look at the stats, the stat tells it different wise. So do you agree with this? So you disagree with this matchup predictor today? Only giving them 3.3% chance of Valparaiso beating New Mexico State Aggies today.
So you saying we got a chance, Coach?
Yeah, 3.3% to 96.7%. Yeah.
Hey, so we got a chance.
They got a chance.
Give me Valparaiso,
man. I think New Mexico State will win, but it's going to be an ugly game.
My first girlfriend was ugly.
I wouldn't be surprised if the game ends 3-0. I wouldn't be surprised.
And if there's a 3-0 game in college football, I got to see this weather. I got to see these cheerleaders. That's the only reason there could be a 3-0 college football.
That might be the best thing going for this
weather
game.
And the cheerleaders.
That might be the best thing going for this game is the cheerleaders and the weather.
Yeah.
That might be the best. That might be the best.
We're not on Apple TV yet, are we? We're not on Apple TV yet, are we?
Not yet.
Okay, all right. I think that's a good opportunity right there, people. Right there. That's it.
All right, my friend. Coastal Carolina versus Troy for the Sun Belt Championship game. This game is at Veteran Memorial Stadium in Troy, Alabama. 58 degrees in Alabama today, partly cloudy. Troy's favored by 7 points. Over and under is 50.
My Myrtle Beach people, my fam.
What is McCall versus Watson, the quarterback trend? Watson has a better year than McCall by 73 yards.
Who has the better record in this matchup here?
Troy comes in at 7-1 in conference, 10-2 overall. In Conway, the Coastal Carolina Chanticleers comes in at 9-2, 6-2 in conference play.
I like the people of Conway, South Cackalack, Myrtle Beach. That is what I thought was beautiful living, Myrtle Beach.
It all depends on who you talk to about that.
Oh my God.
Because
only people from North and South Carolina really get that. Only people from North and South Carolina get what I just said. You have to live in both those states to understand what I just said.
The only thing I said about that is because back in high school days, Myrtle Beach was the senior getaway getaway day. But
you take a woman to Myrtle Beach, you was the richest son of a bitch on the planet.
But also back then at the time of that, when all that come down, they also had the highest suicide rate down there too during that time frame when all the seniors come down. I don't know if you heard about the girl getting up on top of the balcony, thought she can make the swimming pool and dive off the 8-foot floor of the hotel.
What?
And miss the swimming pool by 3 inches.
What?
Yeah. You didn't hear about that?
No. I only know Myrtle Beach from the good times. I never had a bad time in Myrtle Beach, whether softball, leisure, cheating, whatever. No.
Dude, my sister went down there from Myrtle Beach, South Carolina for her senior getaway. And she told me that a girl got on the balcony, 9 floors up, thought she could make the swimming pool and missed about 3 inches.
No.
So, I mean, Myrtle Beach has its good times and it also has its bad times.
I've never had a bad time in Myrtle Beach. Never. Or Conway. Never.
I didn't either.
Never.
You know, some of the things my mom didn't know about. Yeah. So,
I think the speed. I've been always pretty a big fan of fast college football teams, whether the way they run plays or they attack the ball. And that's why I like Coastal Carolina. They're just so fast on both sides of the ball. I like them. Like them a lot.
Now, if you look at this too, it's going to be the offensive side versus Troy's defense, because Troy's defense is only giving up 16.8 a game, and the Chanticleers' offense is scoring 29.4. But on the other end, their defense, the Chanticleers' defense, is giving up 28.7 points a game, and Troy is only scoring 24.6. So if Myrtle Beach guys can hit their average at 29.4 and don't let their Troy defense hit their average of 16.4, then that will give them the chance to win. So McCall's not had he's had an okay year, not to their standards the last 2 years that he was playing. How does him and the Chanticleers go into Troy, who has got a big favor of 70 74% chance of winning this ball game, and Coastal Carolina's only got 26.0% chance. So they got under 30% chance of winning this ball game, according to all these matchup predictors. So I
think both teams are going to try to come in here and do what they've been doing all year and see if it works or not. This is a game that can be easily decided in the first half because both teams are going to try to do what they've been doing all year. No matter who the opponent is, hey, let's go out here and play our offensive game. Let's go out here and play our offensive game. Do we do on defense, special teams? Let's see if it works. That's how both teams are going to go at this. And by halftime, they're going to figure out, you know what, that shit ain't working. Let's adjust our game set right now. So the third quarter is really, we're going to know what's going on. Or the first quarter, if Coastal Carolina come out here and moving that ball the way they're capable of moving that ball, you're challenging that Troy defense the way it has not really been tested this year, that could bring us some mitigating factors. And you got a lot, what 5 or 6 players are coming back for this game that had some midseason injuries. So you got everybody 100% right now in this game.
Yeah, and Coastal Carolina lost to James Madison 47-7, and Troy coming in on a 5-game winning streak. They beat Arkansas State the last game 48-19. If you look at the month, if you look at from October 20th, Troy's defense has only given up 6 points, 17 points, 9 points, 16 points, and 19. So the month of November, nobody has scored more than 19 points.
Teams are so damn scared in November, it's funny. They're scared to do anything.
But on the other, if you look on the other side for the people from Myrtle Beach, from Conway, the Chandeliers, there are 3-2 in their last 5 games. But the lowest import score they give out to the opposing team was 13 points. That was against Marshall, but they won 24-13. They beat Appalachian State 35-28, and then they beat University of Southern Miss 26-23, and then they lose to James Madison 47-7.
Yeah.
So. And the temperature of today's game will be 58 degrees. This is in Troy, Alabama today. The men of Troy. So who you going with? You going with beat guys from the beach, or are you going for the guys from Troy?
Give me my beachcombers, man. Give me Conway. Let's go Coastal.
I'm going with Coastal on this one too. So it should be a pretty good game, though. Defense, if you like defense on one side, if you like offense on the other side. So that's going to be your takeaway there.
I don't know what I did with my damn remote to this damn TV beside me. I don't know what I did with it.
All right, so when we come back, we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we'll go to number 1 Georgia versus number 14 LSU, the SEC championship game, which comes on at 4 o'clock. The other 4 o'clock game is 22 UCF versus Tulane, number 18 ranked team. And then we'll finish it up with another 4 o'clock game of Fresno State versus Boise State. Then we got the 2 8 o'clock games, which is Purdue versus number 2 Michigan, and the North Carolina Tar Heels that coming in at number 23 against number 9 Clemson from Charlotte, North Carolina. So when we come back on the All Sports All Plays Network, this is the All Sports All Plays College Breakdown. I am Ray. That is Dre. We'll be right back after these messages.
All Sports All Plays. All Sports All Plays. All Sports All Plays. 365, we're making up plays. We're talking the game, get you through the days. We're high in the court, the dime in the lane. Variety topics, living the same. All presentation, sports information. In the airways, taking the nation. All sport, all plays, they working your faces. Grace at the field, so tie the laces. All Sports All Plays. All Sports All Plays. Network. We on top of our game. All Sports All Plays. All Sports All Plays.
What did you say?
I said Kobe Bean Bryant has been overrated ever since he passed away.
Now, I'd say they could lose about 4, but I don't see them losing 5. You know what I mean?
All Sports All Plays. All Sports All Plays. All sports, all plays.
This is the Fonx D Streaming Network. Register to come on our channel at fonxdnetwork.com.
Welcome back to the All Sports All Plays Network. I am Ray Cruz. Dre will be back here momentarily. So we've been talking about the college breakdown. We've been talking about the college playoffs. We've been talking about people having dirt on other people in the college playoffs. That's why Nick Saban's still saying his round. That was coming from the comments of Damien. On his last comment that we had was Nick Saban has dirt on the college football playoff committee. That's why he's always been around them and the playoffs to keep Saban's mouth shut. But I don't think if the scenario that we talked about today, if TCU does win, we don't see Alabama. We see Ohio State probably coming in the fifth spot team. So it'll be Ohio State versus Michigan at the Ohio State versus Georgia. If Michigan can win out too, and that would put TCU versus Michigan and one on the other side of the college playoff. If that scenario does happen, if the scenario does happen where TCU is, we could see TCU fall all the way out according to Dre's procrastination of his picks. But I think they could stay in too, in a possibility because they have beaten more ranked teams than Alabama has. So, but we're going to bring Dre back in here again. My boy, the man, the myth, the legend, the Who's to Blame podcast host, and a future home in Colorado. Depends on what Deion Sanders does. He could be going up to Colorado himself. So here is Dre. What's up, buddy? Buddy. Are you packing, man?
Possible scenario, but I'm moving to Colorado. That is a real situation. I'm looking forward to it.
So, my boy, could be a Colorado native pretty soon.
Yep.
How soon?
True story.
How soon after Deion makes an announcement that you leave? That day?
Probably the day after.
Day after?
Probably the day after. I'm out. I mean, what's holding me down? I think I'm old enough now where I can actually – well, I got to talk to my mom and dad and see if it's cool first, because I'm one of those kids. I still need permission from them before I do that. But yeah, other than that, I'm out. Peace. There's nothing holding me down here. The job can go with me. I mean, so.
Yeah, true.
Huh?
True. We're online.
Yeah.
Everything's moved over.
The place I already found. It's affordable. It fits me. There it is.
Yeah. So. All right, we're moving right along here today. Number 14, LSU Tigers at the number 1 Georgia Bulldogs. This game is played in the Georgia's backyard in Atlanta, Georgia. Only about 2 hours from Athens.
ATL, they call it.
LSU's got to travel with their team and their perspective. They travel pretty good. So, how does Georgia's Bulldog defense stop Jalen Daniels? Excuse me.
I don't think that's even a challenging situation for Georgia's defense. I think, if anything, how did LSU make this game entertaining or challenging for Georgia's defense? You know, like I said, my good friend Cassie Joe, that's her squad. She's an UGA fan, fanatic. Went to school there. And everybody in the whole nation knows how fast Georgia defense is. But I still want to see what old Stetson Bennett can do when the game is up to him. Haven't seen it yet. That's what I want to see. Can LSU do that to UGA? Make it an offensive situation where both defenses are so stingy, but somebody got to make a move? Will it be UGA's passing game? Because we know they're going to run the ball. They're going to run the ball. That's running back you. That's what UGA does. They're not going to give up on the run. They're not going to abandon the run. They can disguise it. They have a 5-headed monster that can run the ball. But when it comes to passing the ball, can UGA win the game?
Now, according to you, you want to see Stetson Bennett do the thing, but
yeah, been in college 12 years.
Who is LSU going to put on Brock Bowers, the tight end, the mismatch tight end?
Mark Bavaro Jr., as I like to call him. Oh, man, wide back booty tight end with good hands.
And also is allowed to run on a reverse, too.
He can run. He can block. He can break tackles. He has big hands. He knows how to hold the defender on the right side of his hip when he's getting the ball and knows it. I haven't seen any imperfections of his game yet. Has he gotten a personal foul this year? Has he got an unsportsmanlike conduct called this year? I would bring him out of his character. What does LSU have to lose? What do they have to lose in this game? They're not going to a national title contingency, even if they beat UGA. You know, if UGA loses, you know they're still in the thing. You know that, right?
Yeah, I know Georgia will be still in there.
Yeah.
Because they've been ranked number 1 most of the year.
If Georgia loses or wins, nothing is going to change.
No.
Nothing.
Yeah.
So if I was LSU, well, I don't even think the tight end is going to play the whole game. That's not the money game for him. What's the best tight end award in college called? What's that tight end that was real good? They named the award after him.
I'll tell you, man.
The Doak ain't the Doak award. That's a defense award. The Doak is Doak Walker. Well, I think he's a shoe-in for that. And because what Joey Bosa and his brother exposed about college football, playing in meaningless games, when you're trying to get paid on Sunday, that's still in effect.
Here, I'm trying to find it.
Find it while you do all that. I keep forgetting you do so much, right? You bring it, man. You bring it. I swear. I need to do something. Dre, do your part.
Tight end in college.
Best tight end award in college football is called John McKay. John Mackey Award. It's a John Mackey Award.
Yeah.
John Mackey Award. I think he already has that. He is probably the best tight end in college football. Now, he really does have Sunday tendencies. He has Sunday features in him. Now, but I don't think what can get UGA in this up mood other than being undefeated.
Well, this is to be the first time they win. If they win the SEC championship, this will be the first time they won it in a long time.
See, I know what perfection is about. You know, as a Florida Gator fan, I know what perfection is about. Now, not a lot of people know what perfection is about, but I've been a part of perfection before.
But see, if Georgia wants to use this as a motivating factor to win the SEC title and the national championship, they could do that because they haven't won the SEC title, but they did win the national championship last year. But, you know, so that's going to be the scenario that we need to see here is, can they produce into this ball game here?
I like that, Ray. I like what you said. Not many people from the SEC can go undefeated, win the SEC championship, and win the national championship in the same season. Not many people can do that. There are only a certain amount of us that know what that's about. So I feel you on that, Ray. I really do.
But if Stetson Bennett, this could be, I mean, we're still writing a movie script on this dude. And if SEC title,
Benjamin
then he has broken the longest streak of the national title, and he has broken the longest streak of the SEC title in his career. So it's going to add to his legacy.
Wait, 32, married, 2 kids?
Who's Stetson Bennett?
Yeah.
I don't know if he's married.
He's been in college 12 years. The last athlete I knew who was in college this long was Travis Best.
He's 25 years old.
That's old. 25 in college, you're like 50.
Well, the average, I mean, depends on the average age is what, 22? So, yeah, it's been over 3 years.
Hey, old man. He the old man, though. He didn't call him an old man, old gray beard, old gray bush. Got gray pubes. But Stetson Bennett's career is pretty much set in place. The only thing is missing is a crazy injury, like a Tua type shit. But the rest, yeah, dude, I just want to see is all people that challenge any athlete that has that title. Oh, he's a winner. He's this. We all have something that we have not seen that we want to see. I just want to see him win a game based on him, not the defense, not the brain game.
That's why he plays on a great. That's why he plays on a great team.
I get that. I want to see. How can I put this?
I know what you want to see. You want to see him, if the game's on the line, you want to see him to put it on and win. Yeah.
Not no fucking 3rd and 9 run and you're already up 21 points. You're trying to seal the game. Fuck that shit. No. Show me you can win this game. Show me. I want to see a cut on the chin. I want the Wi-Fi to break down.
If you go back, it was Stetson Bennett that led Georgia down the field to beat Missouri.
That was Mizzou, dumbass. Mizzou had Uga beat. We know it. The whole country know it. So I'm done with that dumb shit. That's why 2 players already transferred portal out of fucking Mizzou now. Horrible. They had Uga beat. And they showed people how to beat Uga. Put the game in his hands. And what did they do? They ran the ball.
Yeah.
And 1 fluke pass play. 1 fluke pass play. 1. But I want to see him. I mean, he's already a 2nd-round draft pick or a 3rd-round draft pick to me. Being a quarterback in the NFL. Nobody's taking a quarterback in the 1st round right now. He's going to the NFL. But I just want to see the decision-making, the maturation process, and understanding where you are in the moment of the game and the situation for you and the team. I want to see that.
All right, so you got a quarterback on the other side, Jalen Daniels, who has put the team on his back, and he leads in passing with 2,566 yards and 15 touchdowns and 2 interceptions. He also leads the team in rushing for 174 carries, 824 yards, and 11 touchdowns. So he has over total of 26 touchdowns with both the running and the passing combined together. We know he's fast. We know he's fast.
These are 2 different coaching styles, though. You have Kirby has a philosophy and a process and a system.
Right.
O.B. Kelly over here, he challenges you to prove to him who you said you are and what you can do. You say you want to throw the ball. Okay, coach, let's give him some play and some scenarios to throw the ball. You said you can manage a game. Okay, let's put that together. You say you can read a defense. You want to be challenged. Here you go. And that's the one thing I do admire about Brian Kelly. He challenges the athleticism of all of his athletes on the field, mindset, and skill set, continually doing the game. That's the one plus side I like about the LSU situation coming into this matchup. The quarterback is more up to the moment and for the challenge in this game, as opposed to Stetson Bennett. He is not going to know until it actually happens.
I mean, this game could come down to being what you were looking for in Stetson
Bennett. Oh, hell no, man. Georgia's going to beat the shit out of them.
I don't know. Hey, if Jalen Daniels gets going off on the running, they can keep that Uga's offense on that sideline.
Yeah, listen, I'm just saying. How could I put this? Have you seen the previews of the movie Cocaine Bear?
No.
It's based on true events where a bear actually did some cocaine. But there's a scene in the movie clip. This bear is running. And as you as a human, at some point it must register to you, I cannot outrun that bear. That's you as a player on LSU being chased down by a 400-pound man that can run a 4.240.
Oh, no.
Yeah. That's Georgia defense wants to play. The offense don't. The defense want to play the whole damn game. That's the big factor with UGA for the past 5 years. The defense wants to be on the field more than the offense.
Yeah,
And the last time I saw that, what's the man name used to play with Pittsburgh? The receiver. Hines Ward was there. That's the last time I've seen any effectiveness and joyfulness out of the offense. But since then, that defense is running things. And I love watching UGA's defense, man. Them dudes fast.
So I got Georgia. You got Georgia too?
Hell yeah.
We got to keep moving right along here. Well, I'll talk a little bit about Tulane here next. UCF Tulane. This game comes on at 4 o'clock. Also, this is on ABC today. What do you see out of the UCF and Tulane game? The 66 degrees is going to be in Yulman Stadium in New Orleans, Louisiana, the home of the Green Waves, the American Atlantic Championship game today.
We got Tulane versus who? You going to put it up there?
Yeah, I'll put it up here. It's number 22 UCF, the Knights, Central Florida.
You know, I love so many things about Central Florida, man. I mean, the very first time I heard of Central Florida was the great, amazing Dante Culpepper. Ever since then, I've been paying attention to what that program has been doing, from the hires to the facility, to the players, the recruiting process, the coaches they've brought in, the players they've put in the NFL, not just in the NFL, not just in sports, just throughout the people that have come out of UCF since the days of Dante Culpepper. I like UCF.
Yeah, Tulane's favored by 4 points in this ball game. Tulane's, on the other hand, their quarterback, Matt Pratt, who is 18 out of 87, 288 yards, and 2,382 yards total, 21 touchdowns and 4 interceptions, compared to Philip Plumlee. But Plumlee is a dual threat quarterback also. He rushed for 136 carries for 848 yards, 11 touchdowns. But he also has thrown for 176 out of 273 for 2,195 yards in this game, 13 touchdowns, 7 interceptions. So you got a big play kind of offense in UCF to a team that runs the ball effectively in Tulane. Go ahead.
Question. Is that Plumlee related to that large-ass family Plumlee? That everybody went to Kentucky and Purdue in the NBA?
Oh, you talking about the Plumlees that went to Duke University?
Yeah, that part of them kids?
I don't know. I'll find out for you.
Holy Toledo! If that's part of that tree, man, I have so many questions about that family. So many questions. No, impossible. I like the posse Tulane. It became famous for their run in the NCAA Final Four back in the late 90s because they didn't have a player over 6 feet tall, and it became known as the posse. But Tulane is fast, man. They really are. The people, they know how they are. They're very special. But I like UCF, man. They're committed to something. I think they're trying to establish something that could have been there, but certain coaches want to leave and do their own shit, do their own video, instead of staying with the brand. But I like UCF in this.
No, he's not kin to him.
Not kin to him?
He grew up in Hattiesburg, Mississippi.
Oh, man. My first wife used to live there.
Yeah, he's not kin to them.
Was that my first wife? Yeah, first wife.
So you got UCF, you said?
Yeah, I'm going with UCF.
I'm going to ride the green wave for the touchdown. For the touchdown victory. They're going to win by a touchdown ball game. All right, my friend. Let's move right along here. Our next game, we're going to talk a little bit about getting a little bit of exposure. Fresno State at Boise State. The Broncos of Boise.
The Bluebonnet Field?
This game was played at... Let me see if this game is played in... I think it's played in Yep, it's playing at Albertson Stadium, Boise, Idaho, on the blue turf.
Hey.
So if you're going to watch that game, you better put some eyeglasses on or some shades on.
Is marijuana legal there?
I don't know. I don't live in Boise, Idaho.
I want to know if they have blue bud. I've had the blue bud a long time ago when people were just into the colors, but I wonder, is that a consistent thing up there? Is that a thing?
It says if you're convicted of felony possession of marijuana, you will face up to 5 years in prison. So I don't. They might have it, but you better.
Ray, the way you read that as a fellow North Carolinian, right there, North Carolinian, right there. It says right here, if you get convicted of smoking weed, you get a felony conviction.
So if you put that there, they might have it up there, but it better not be advertising. You better go catch one of those drug dealers. Make sure you ain't no cop undercover DEA agent.
God. Oh, Ray. Oh, my God. The way you delivered that was beautiful. Oh, no. But it says right here. I used to like Boise State, man, but since the coaching situation up there, I don't know what's going on up there anymore. The past 2 to 3 years, I just don't know where that program is at right now. But I used to like them back in the day.
It's gonna be cold, 28 degrees.
Now I like Fresno State, them Bulldogs, right? Yeah, I like them.
Yeah,
they gangster from the basketball program, the baseball program, and the women's volleyball team. I like.
But it's gonna be Boise State's defense against Fresno State's offense, who's scoring 30.9 a game to Boise's defense only giving up 17.8 a game. So, but Fresno State likes to pass, but Boise defense doesn't give up too much passing yards, 158.8 a game, and only giving up 125.8. And both teams' defenses are pretty good because both of them not giving over 200 yards passing or over 200 yards rushing. They're under 100. They're about 158.8 for Boise, 125.8 for Fresno.
Don't you like when you're trying to do a college football show and your friends want to send you pictures of food that they're eating? Don't you like when people do that? You like that?
Yeah, it makes me hungry.
They doing biscuits and gravy for the USA game. USA about to get on the plane and come on home. Oh, man.
All right, so who you got in this ball game, Fresno or Boise?
Give me Fresno State. Give me them Bulldogs. I like the cheerleaders, too.
Yeah, give me Boise. I think the blue field is going to cause a lot of pain for everybody today.
Take it back to the Blue Bonnet Bowl, Daddy. The Blue Bonnet Bowl.
USA just scored.
It's 2-1.
2-1. Good job. All righty, my friend. Our next game that we're going to bring up is the first game of one of the 8 o'clock games will be Purdue plays Michigan, the Wolverines, number 2 ranked team in the nation. Does Michigan come in with a hangover of beating Ohio State against Purdue today?
You know, in 2020 to now,
Really good, actually.
from 2020 to now, Jim Harbaugh has taken on a definite beating from the fan base, locally, nationally, globally, and he didn't change at all. So it's not going to be a hangover. He's going to be the same dude, the same situation. The team knows the same goal and obligation, but its only difference is now trying to eclipse with what's my man name? He went to play baseball, then he played football too late. Brian Greasy was the quarterback there. Brian Greasy, another dude. What was the other backup quarterback there as well?
Tom Brady?
No, when Michigan went undefeated.
Oh, Michigan undefeated? Let me see.
It was Brian Greasy, and the guy with the big old eyes ended up being a Cowboys quarterback, but he went and played baseball first. He was in the Yankee system.
Let me see here. I can't think of his name.
He got those big old eyes. Oh, what's that kid name? He was a Cowboys quarterback.
Cowboys quarterback?
Yeah, he went and played baseball for like 10 years.
Oh, man, now you put in.
What
I know you. I think I know what you're talking about.
I'm gonna figure it out. But I don't think Michigan is in a hangover. I think Ohio State is in a hangover still. Because I think Michigan just scored another touchdown based on that run defense that Ohio State had on them last week. So Michigan right now is only they're challenging themselves. They're challenging themselves.
I'm trying to find out that undefeated team.
Quarterback that played for the Dallas Cowboys.
It was 1997 when they went undefeated, right?
Right.
All right.
Drew Henson. Huh.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah. He's in a Drew Henson situation right now. I think Michigan is about Michigan and UGA are trying to do something that's going to be very special to these young men that are part of this situation right now. Has nothing to do with you, us, alumni, parents, media, fan base. These kids are doing this for them to be a part of this. Just like the basketball team with all the tall white people, Monmouth. Same thing. They're doing it for them, the moment.
Now, my question to you is, does Jim Harbaugh do the same thing that he did with Blake Corum because of the injury? Have him start the game, pull him out, don't have him play no more until the last possession to get him back in the game at the tail end like he did against Ohio State?
Well, that was senior day.
Yeah.
That was senior day. That's why they did that. I
think. I'm just saying.
No, I don't know. I think now today is more about, hey, let's go to work. Let's put in our 8 hours. Let's get off. And let's go on this vacation together in a couple of weeks. I think that's where he's at.
Now, since J.J. McCarthy has nailed down the quarterback position, the backup quarterback has now gone on hitting his name into the transfer portal. So we're not trying to if
he can go to Florida now.
Yeah, he can go there because Kitna's not going to be there no more.
At all.
But the question that I have is, Purdue's defense is their worst defense is they're 128.8 yards allowed in rushing for Purdue. But Michigan's defense only allows 84.8 yards. So how does Purdue get their running game going against Michigan's defense?
See, if I'm Purdue, this is a history situation right here. These two schools know each other very, very well.
Netherlands scored.
Very, 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 very well. So I don't think it's going to be a situation where it's more of a what can Purdue do to beat Michigan? What can Purdue do to stop Michigan? I would just go out here and play Purdue football. Do what's been working for you all year. Don't do nothing special.
Now, on top of that, they got this one kid, Jones, the wide receiver for Purdue. He was called 97 receptions for 1,199 yards and 12 touchdowns. How does Michigan quarters can be physical against Jones and try to take him out of the ball game? Because that's the guy you need to take out of the passing game for Purdue.
I think Michigan defense wants to show people that they can actually play defense against everybody and instead of just select schools and select situations. I think Michigan defense wants to kind of shut people up and say, look, we can do this against everybody. And I think right now the defense really wants to show what they can do. We know what the offense can do. We know what the run game can produce. We know what the passing game, the special teams is like. We know what the coaching is like. But the defense has never been like the number one factor in any Michigan game this year, whether pregame or postgame. There's been talks, well, the defense showed up in the third. Well, the defense made a special play in the first half here, and it's not been like a whole thing. Well, Michigan defense whooped ass this whole game. Win. Proof.
Yeah.
Show it to you.
Well, if you look at both teams in the last 5 games, Michigan's undefeated in the last 5 games. Purdue comes in at 3-2 in the last 3 straight games against number 21 in Illinois, against Northwestern, and against Indiana. There's not too much still a competition except for that Illinois team, which was a pretty good game on that one.
What was the score of that Indiana game between Michigan?
Michigan Indiana game.
Yeah, what was that score? Because I thought Indiana had showed something, exposed something in Michigan in that game, or was that Northwestern? One of them two schools did something to Michigan.
Michigan handled Indiana 31-10. You talking about the Illinois game?
Yeah,
the Illinois game was the one that came down to the end.
That's the one. And, well, that was the weather too, though.
Yeah, Moody kicked the field goal to win the game.
Yeah, that weather was fucked up too.
Yeah,
but that's the defense really, because Illinois to me had a little pizzazz in that game. Not going into the game, but they had a little pizzazz in that game, and Michigan defense kind of slowed it up. But again, that weather was kind of crazy for both teams as well too.
Yeah. Today's weather in Indianapolis is going to be 33 degrees, but I think they got a dome stadium, so the weather is not going to
65 inside. Shit.
Yeah. It's a 63,000 seat stadium in Indianapolis, Indiana. This game comes on at 8 o'clock. This is on Fox. Primetime will be on Fox Sports.
I don't like playing indoor sports, man. The first time I played indoor softball, I was like, what in the shit is this?
So
I want to go outside.
So you're going with me? I got Michigan in this game. You going with Michigan too?
Yeah, give me Michigan.
All right.
Captain Khaki Pants. 2 years ago, people hated this man. They wanted his job. They questioned why his mom and dad had sex. They questioned his relationship with his brother. But now look at him now. Now they want to put him on Mount Rushmore. Amazing.
Yeah. All right. Our last game that we're going to be here is the ACC Championship, number 9 Clemson versus number 23 North Carolina. This is the Subway ACC Championship game in Charlotte, North Carolina at Bank of America. The temperature for this game is going to be 49 degrees, 8 o'clock. Clemson is favored to win by 7.5 in this ball game. The last time North Carolina played Clemson in the ACC Championship was in 2015. Where they didn't have the instant replay to go review the onside kick, which they called North Carolina offside, which was bull because North Carolina player wasn't offsides. And they went back and reviewed that play, and they didn't review it because they didn't have the instant replay. That's when they now institute the instant replay for the onside kick because of that game,
which was bull,
crap. Even though Clemson was still winning, North Carolina recovered that onside kick, and they said North Carolina player was offsides. He wasn't offsides. Kirk Herbstreit drew the line on the thing to show where the offside was supposed to be at, and the guy was on the other side. So it was not offsides on that play.
Boy, I tell you what, I love that little bit right there you did, Ray. That was awesome. As a guy that used to live in Charlotte, North Carolina, 704, if I was there, I'd be going to this game for sure.
Mecklenburg.
I love going to college football games at, is it Erickson Stadium? Is it Alltel Stadium? What was it, Panther Stadium? What's it called now? Bank of America?
Bank of America Stadium. It used to be Erickson Stadium. It used to be Erickson Stadium, and then Alltel was down here in Jacksonville. It used to be Erickson Stadium, but it used to be behind that because Erickson was the cell phone company at the time. So they went out of business. Then Bank of America, because it's a bank city.
BOFA.
So,
as we call it in the banking industry, we call it BOFA, Bank of America.
Yeah.
Right there. Right. I don't know if my son is going to this game. I'm going to shoot him a shout out here in a second to see if he's going to this game. But can you put that match up there for me one more time? Because I don't want to say the wrong damn team name here.
They're playing Clemson.
That is okay. Carolina at Clemson.
Yeah. This is a rematch.
I did not start paying attention to Carolina in ACC football until last year when Ray and I met. I didn't think there was a such thing. Carolina football or Wake Forest football. Basketball, soccer and baseball, gymnastics and volleyball. Yeah, in women's sports. Yeah, but football? Carolina and Wake Forest? Is that a thing?
I mean,
I like this matchup here. And consider the way Dabo acted on the sidelines last week, childish behavior. You want my son come and play for you? The way he acted last week, I'm pulling for Carolina to do an embarrassing beatdown.
See, this is what I look at the game. If DJ Ugalea plays in this ball game, Carolina can have a shot. But the backup quarterback for the Clemson, he's the better quarterback between the both. I don't know why he hasn't started, but he could run, pass the ball, and does all the different things that Carolina cannot do. Stop. If DJ comes in there, Carolina will have a better chance beating Clemson with DJ Ugalea quarterback. But if they change over the quarterbacks in mid-game and have the backup quarterback come in there, that's the quarterback that's going to give Carolina trouble. Why he can run the ball and throw the ball.
When did you first see him play? The backup quarterback.
The first backup. Oh, dude, he played. What was it? He came back against Syracuse. That game, they had to come back against Syracuse to win because they took DJ out and put him in the rest of the game.
Yep.
So,
I wanted to see where did you get that intuition from? Because a lot of times the quarterbacks come in, they only have 3 or 4 plays for them. That's it. Because of the scenario that they worked out in practice that week. They're like, okay, the situation comes up. Here are the 4 plays that you need to concentrate on. Here you go. So that's usually what they have.
Right. This backup quarterback has the full RAM of the playbook from day one.
Is it still 3-1?
So he has the full RAM of the playbook. I mean, he just don't have the 4 set. He has the full playbook down to a science. He's just been they want to have DJ to prove himself. I don't think he has proven himself. I think if Clemson would have started this quarterback from the get-go, I think this quarterback would have been a whole lot better, and Clemson would probably been in the talk, still in the playoff talk. But
okay, I like that. We'll see.
But then you got, on the other hand, you got Drake May, who is best friends with Will Shipley, who played on the same football team up in Charlotte, North Carolina, together.
Already.
So when Drake May went to North Carolina and Will Shipley decided to go to Clemson, they both had a tweet go back and forth saying, "See you in the ACC championship game. Today has arrived." Can Drake May get back to his game-winning ways that he were at before the Georgia Tech game? Because the last few games he has been down. The receiving core has let him down. Dropped a lot of passes, a lot of key passes. And especially that one game-winning catch could have been a game-winning touchdown against Georgia Tech, and Downs has missed. And then he came around to NC State, has missed a lot. It could be because of the NC State defense and stuff like that, which made him drop a lot of passes. But what NC State did best was they took the deep play away from North Carolina. They made North Carolina drive to the length of the field. That's what not North Carolina's predicated style is. They like to do the RPO passes, and then they like to go deep at certain points of the game, and they can't get the deep passes going, which is going to be hard against Clemson's defense to get that deep passes going. If they do the same philosophical stop that North Carolina State did in North Carolina this past week, it's going to be a long night from Drake May. How does Drake May and Josh Downs get back on the same page in this ballgame?
I think right now with all those drop passes by the receiving core is more in confidence and trust now. I mean, how can I trust you to catch the ball? How can I trust you to be there for me? So it's more of a trust thing than confidence right there. It's trusting them to do their job. Can they do that or not? Can they do that or not is one of the situations right now. Doing the show right now, I'll call you right back. And it's more of that. It's a trust situation. It's the trust. Can he afford to trust his receiving core in this game and matchup right now? Or can he talk to running back, say, look, here, this is what we're going to do. We're going to be on our own little code. Maybe him, the tight end, can do something a little better. But the receiving core is more of the trust. There was a lot of drop passes in the past 3 weeks. A lot.
Yeah.
I'm not talking in crucial conflict situation. I'm talking like when you can catch the ball, there's room for yak after that, yards after the catch for the kids that are the first time tuning in. There's room for you to not get hurt. I'm not putting you in a situation where you're going to get hurt or I got to go talk to your mom and dad. This is a winning situation, but you guys can't catch the ball. So help me help you.
And North Carolina needs to jump on Clemson quick in the first 2 quarters because their starting safety comes back in the second half because of the personal foul, the targeting he got in the first half. So he has to for the second half, he has to miss the first half of this ball contest. So without the starting safety, and one of the starting corners is also down for Clemson, if Carolina can jump on Clemson quick and easy early in the ball game and drive the confidence up, this could be a 4-quarter game. And the last 2 meetings that North Carolina has played against Clemson has come down to a 1-possession game.
Basketball or football?
In football.
Okay. All right.
The last two times they have played Clemson has come down to a 1-possession game. One in the regular season, and the other one was in 2015, the ACC championship game. It all came down to 1-possession game to win this contest.
What's Clemson's rank right now?
They're number 9.
Number 9.
Yeah.
And they have 2 losses, right?
They have 2 losses.
And what is Alabama's rank with 2 losses?
They're ranked number 6, but they won't have a championship behind their name. If Clemson wins today, they'll have a championship by their name.
I get all that. But old Dabo been pissed since the offseason at his former daddy, his predecessor, his nemesis, his Faja, Nick Saban. He's been chasing Nick Saban for a long time. Whether in money, confidence, or philosophy, or coaching, or whatever it may be, he's still mad about what happened before the season started, what has happened this season, but more importantly, the way they lost last week. So he's in an uncomfortable position right now. And I want to see this man so mad today and go under composure. I want to get bleeped in the microphone going to the halftime. Coach, what happened out there today? We ain't fucking do shit. I want to bleep. I want to see all of today. I want to see him get so uncomfortable today that I see Carolina beating him. Because he's still mad about last week.
Yeah, we got about 4 minutes, less than 4 minutes before the kickoff. I got North Carolina winning this game, but it's going to probably come down to a field goal, which is going to be shaky because Carolina's field goal kicker missed 2
I'm about to
field
say
goals
your field
last
goal
week.
kicker, sorry.
Yeah.
So how the hell is it going to come down to a field goal game?
It's going to come down to 1 possession. Either a touchdown or
a
field
safety.
goal.
I take a safety over a damn field goal. Give me the kid with the 1 left foot.
So you taking North Carolina in this one too?
Yes.
I got North Carolina too in there. So
let's see if anybody can help me today that USC effed it up for everybody the other day.
All right, let's take we got like 2 minutes. I want to pick your brain here. If Nick Saban decides to retire after this season, just saying a big if, does Dabo Swinney becomes the next Alabama head coach?
Hell no. Hell no. If you suddenly die, your best friend gonna marry your wife?
Hope not, but I'll be dead, so I won't know.
That's all I'm saying. Nick Saban and Dabo Swinney in Alabama could never, ever, ever happen. He's done too much to tarnish that.
Even though he's an alumni,
don't matter. He can never sleep with anybody at Alabama again because of what he has said since he's left. Even though he's from there, he's been there, but he can't go back up in there.
So, in your mind, who would be the best replacement for Nick Saban at Alabama?
Somebody in their 30s. Not in their 40s, not in their 50s, somebody in their 30s. It's time for that to happen at that program. That's a legacy job. That's not a 4 or 5 year job, 10-year job. The next coach is going to be there at least 20 years. So it should be somebody in their 30s.
Remember that year before Nick Saban got there, the down years and stuff? Does Alabama go back to them down years between a great coach and the next coach?
Oh, no. I mean, you don't have to go to Alabama to be great. You're already great before you get there. You're going there for the platform. That's the only reason people are going to Alabama. And now that is out there, you can get that platform everywhere. It's not going to be a shift. It's not going to be that drastic. You want to?
Well, my friend,
I see down there, man.
we got about 30 seconds. So, what games are you going to watch today, Dre? What's the game?
All
what's the
of them.
games? All of them. Got all the
Because
TVs
USA
on
done
all
let me
games.
down. They on the plane ride home right now. So that shit show over with. So I'm gonna watch all the games. They come out and they're very spaced out today.
Yeah.
I think we got some women college basketball going on today. That's pretty cool. So yeah, I like the way it's spread out today. We didn't do that. We didn't have to pick 87 games today. This is pretty normal.
All right, my friend. Let's take a bet. Who do you have Deion Sanders going to on his announcement tomorrow?
That's crazy that you just asked me at that exact same time. My realtor just confirmed that I can have a place in Colorado. He's going to Colorado. Dre's moving to Colorado. I got to clear the orders with my mother and father, but I plan on moving to Colorado. Goodbye, St. Louis.
He could pull a wool over everybody's eyes and say he's staying at Jackson State.
If it doesn't make dollars, it doesn't make sense. Prime time, but it has to be in a favorable situation. It's not a money situation. It's not about money. It's about the reach. It's the reach.
It's gonna be easy. So watch out for the big announcement coming on Sunday. Prime time is gonna try to make his announcement go up against the NFL. So who will get the most watch? Will it be prime time or will it be the NFL games? But today we have all the conferences championship games coming down. Next week we'll be dedicating the show to the Army versus Navy game. That is next week. We'll be talking about that. We'll have some few surprises hopefully coming up on the show. And I'll be making some graphics with some military backgrounds and stuff. So
share your military story with us next week.
Yes, that's going to be the thing. All you military people that are watching the show today, talk to your best Army-Navy game experience while you were in the service. If you're in the Navy and Army. Air Force, you can do the same thing, but it still won't be the same because Navy and Army is the biggest game between the two services. So it's been a great show today with you, Dre. This has been the All Sports, All Plays College Breakdown. I am Ray. This is Dre. We on the All Sports, All Plays Network. On our Facebook, you can check us there. You can check us on YouTube. You can check us on Roku. But we'll be out of here. And enjoy your day Saturday. And go Tar Heels.
All sports, all plays. All sports, all plays. All sports, all plays. 365, we're making up plays. We're talking the game, get you through the days. We're high in the court, the dime in the lane. Variety, topics, living the same. All presentation, sports information. In the airways, taking the nation. All sport, all plays, like working your faces. Grace at the field, so tie the laces. All sports, all plays.